Hello and welcome to the third episode of Gone with the Wind. This is the Rooflemonger
BABERUTHLESS.
and here we are continuing our journey through the Hunter x Hunter 2011 anime. So in this one, we're going through episodes 19 through, well, technically 26 is 25. 26 is a recap episode, and we're not going to bother. And there's some stuff happening here. We got like two mini story arcs. So I think we'll get into it because some stuff's interesting. Some stuff is, I've been finding a lot of things frustrating, which is getting people mad that I don't immediately love your favorite show. So I challenge you to defend some of these. Once again, I still like this show, so don't get me wrong. I ain't here just to be difficult. I'm just here to hashtag ask questions, right?
Oh, you're a born hater. That's what you're saying.
I'm not even a born hater. It's just, well, once again, when the moment comes, try to defend it. We'll see what happens.
All right. Okay, all right. I mean, in all fairness, like when I was watching some of these moments, I also was like, oh man, like I haven't watched the show in like a couple of years. Ooh, like I didn't remember this detail happening. Like maybe they shouldn't have done that. It's kind of bullshit, but we'll get into it.
Yeah. But before we get into the episodes directly, once again, since we are a fighting game aligned anime podcast, I guess. So there's a couple things. One, CEO is coming up. You may notice here, BR is not in the same area that she's been in the last few times because you're in Florida.
That's right. I'm in Florida, home of the humidity and like alligators and crocodiles and all that good stuff. I've been here for the past week because I was doing the FGC Coliseum event, which was a charity stream event. So I've been here a hot second. That was fantastic, a great time. We can get into that, but yes, we are here. It's the day before CEO. I am super excited for the weekend, but we're prioritizing our Hunter x Hunter podcast because we are dedicated to seeing this out to the end. So we're out here grinding even as we're at a fighting game tournament.
Yeah, and this should be live before CEO's even done. So this is going to be more current than the other episodes that we've done. Now you did mention the charity event, so there's been some memes, there's been some controversy, especially over a certain tier list. There's been some accusations leveled at people. So what are some of the things that happened there at the charity event?
Yeah, so the charity event, just for some context, so like other communities have done very similar events where essentially they put a bunch of like creators or like commentators or people in the community essentially into, I hate to call it a content house, but like that's kind of what it is, low key. But they put them in a house.
Yeah.
And basically it's 3 days, 3 12-hour streams of just like people playing different games, doing different activities, trying to raise money for a charity, which is, in this case, it was Direct Relief. And they provide relief to essentially places that are stricken by different emergencies, like very hurricane-prone regions, providing aid when those types of events happen. So really great cause. We had a really great group of creators there as well. I don't remember the exact number, but like I think there's maybe around 10 of us or so.
There was a lot of people. That was a full room from what I saw.
There was a lot of people.
And there were some luminaries there. There's some big names there. Like host of Gone with the Wind podcast, BABERUTHLESS was there.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay, I low-key was so nervous to go because first of all, like I haven't streamed. I streamed like once, maybe 6 years ago, just to try, and that was before I was even BABERUTHLESS, mind you. Like I was just streaming to my friends and stuff like that. I tried it out, didn't really like it, and then so I went from not streaming at all to essentially like, oh yeah, get on camera for like 3 days for 12 hours each. So that was very stressful, and then not to mention there were a lot of people like that I mostly hadn't met any of the people that were going to be there. I knew Lord Knight, LK, a little bit from, I met him briefly at Evo Japan, but most of the people I did not know there. And then I was going to Florida, literally, and, some of the details weren't like totally fleshed out yet because an event like this had never happened in the FGC before. So basically, I didn't really know what to expect. So
Mm.
I was very nervous for everything, but I think it went really well. There were a lot of very fun segments. We did, as you kind of alluded to, we did a tier list that was highly controversial.
It
Needless to say, I was mad about some of those things too.
it's been pointed out to me by several people that they put VF5 on top. So
They did.
that's
They
basically
did.
all I was there for, because if it didn't, then I would have been joining in the conversation. But since they've appeased me as the virtual fighter guy, I'm like, okay, you can have your other crap opinions.
Yes, there were a lot of opinions on there. One thing that was really funny is that like if you donated like $50 or something, that they essentially like you could what was it called? It was called like Debate Club, and you could pick one creator to argue for a game and why it should be rated high, and then you pick one person to like be on the opposite side, right? And then you would kind of like debate over like where this game should be on the tier list. And they had like Justin on like arguing against like MVC2, and then they had Ally Joe arguing for MVC2, and it's like by the end everybody was like, oh yeah man, like MVC2, that's F tier, straight to the F tier. And I was like,
Justin's well known
bro!
as Marvel 2's like greatest champion, but to be a game's greatest champion, you have to be the most well aware of its flaws.
Yes.
And to be very fair,
Yes,
like
and
I know people love their Marvel 2, right? Even if you're the greatest Marvel 2 fan in the world, you gotta. There's some stuff not good with that game. Would not be accepted today. We'd be calling that
when it
game
came out,
Kusoge today.
yes.
Yeah.
For sure, but like knowing about like the game's legacy, and then also I don't know, just like being such a huge part of like fighting game history and community, I'm like, it doesn't deserve F tier. Okay, maybe it doesn't deserve S tier, but does it deserve F tier? Anyways,
Marvel
I was
Infinite was
outvoted.
rated higher, which I agree with. How about that? There's your hot take before we even get to the anime.
I actually don't hate Marvel Infinite. Like
I'm Marvel
not a
Infinite's
fan of,
favored
like,
son.
order stages.
Hey, you want more hot
I mean,
takes?
fair enough.
I made a comment. What did I even say? I was like half shit posting, but also half telling the truth in a way that I can deflect by saying it was shit posting. Oh, for Marvel Tokon, that was it. I wrote down, I am the champion, because we talk about versus games. There's a lot of versus games in the news in the last few days.
A lot.
Yeah. So I said, I'm the champion of Marvel Tokon. I'm already like putting my foot, because there's apparently some debate over who's the true Hunter x Hunter fan, right? And all I can say is, who's here with a podcast about Hunter x Hunter? Ain't nobody here but us. So
I mean,
let that stand as its own answer about who's a Hunter x Hunter fan, right?
There is one podcast that has a very similar name to ours that shall not be named.
We're gonna finish our podcast. Wooly, God bless you.
Damn.
I don't know. You ain't finished that podcast. But yeah, so Marvel Tokon, I'm putting my foot down as the champion of the game before it's even out. Because, inarguably, I am the first face of Dragon Ball FighterZ YouTube. I'm not the only Dragon Ball FighterZ YouTuber, but I was there first, for sure. And then, Lord Jamcrofts got there, Dr. Doya got there, and, many others as well. But, I was there I was at the top, and I was there first. Can't argue it. And then...
So you're claiming Tokon.
That's one half. I'm claiming both halves. So I have the Arxis tag locked in. So that's the first gemstone, right? And then I'm claiming I'm the last son of Marvel. Is Justin a bigger Marvel 2 and 3 fan than me? Yeah, absolutely. I won't argue it. Marvel Infinite's my favorite Marvel, okay? So when everyone else left Marvel Infinite, I was there, Marvel Infinite, sick and dying on its bed. And I'm there holding its hand saying, I still love you for what you are. You're still beautiful to me. I ain't going to leave you like the rest are, right? So I am the last person who was with Marvel at the very end. And you take those two together, and Marvel Tokon is my game.
Okay. No,
that's the way I gotta put it.
That's a fair argument. I mean, you're always right there on the latest
for Invincible.
News and
I can't for Invincible. I like Invincible. I can't go much further than that. I've read all the comic. Here's the thing. I think huge swathes of the comic are not good. So I'm not going to say I'm the biggest Invincible fan of all time. I look forward to the game. But everything with the dinosaur, you could hopefully the animation cuts that stuff. We don't need that animated.
Okay. I've only seen the first two well, I guess
The
there's only
animation,
two
I'll say
seasons
this right now.
of
If you've
season now,
never
right?
seen Red Watch Invincible, legitimately, the animation is better than the comic. I've said this as someone who's
Okay,
read the
damn.
entire comic. The animation's better. They cut a lot of the BS out. They rearrange how things happen to make everything more sense. Animation's much better.
Yeah, no, I mean, I haven't read the comics, but I've seen some spoilers about like certain things that have happened in the comics versus the TV show, and like some of the things that they retconned, I was like, oh god, thank god they did this. Like, it is way better.
The only spoiler I'll give
is very good.
is well, if you've seen season 2, I think you've there's definitely been some bug sex going on.
Yes.
Don't worry,
yes.
there's so much more to go. Oh my god, you've seen 1% of the
Okay.
bug sex. That's my spoiler
All
for
right.
the plot of Invincible.
All right, we're gonna see a lot more of those aliens in the future, I
Yes,
guess.
a lot more. But yeah, so that's my hot takes on that. So yeah, CEO is happening. So the charity event went off well. Once again, if you haven't seen it, look it up. Like I said, obviously the tier list was the controversy. There's a lot of fun moments I saw clipped around the internet. Poor Lord Knight had some accusations thrown about him for being punished for being knowledgeable. It turns out you can know an answer to a question, and that's held against you.
I mean, but the answer only a true. Okay, so he did explain to me how he knew the answer. So basically,
For those that don't know, the answer to which.
So there was an FGC music trivia contest that was going on basically, and so like you're separated into two teams. Each team had to essentially figure out like what song like a certain game was from, or like what series it belonged to, stuff like that. And just for some context, all this was played on the piano, mind you. So some of it was really hard to tell, like what the song actually, like the original song was, because when you hear in piano version, sometimes the quality of that song is totally
it can be quite different. Yeah.
It can be quite different. So like there were definitely some ones where I was like, oh fuck, I should have known that, and I did not know that. Oopsies. But the very last question, I think this was match point of like which team was gonna win. The very last question, basically like they're playing a song, right? And all of us are just sitting there like, what is, like, we've never heard this song in our entire life. Like, what is this? And then LK, he's standing there for like a good minute. He's just like, and you slowly see his face just like, he knows what the song is, right? He recognizes the song.
But he has his Randy Marsh moment. I know what the answer is, but I don't think I should say it.
Right. And then he's like, play it again. And then you could clearly see that like he's like, oh shit, like I know this song. And like he's debating whether or not he should say it. But this is the match point. So like if he wants our team to win, he's gotta say it. And lo and behold, where is the song from? It is the DOA Extreme Beach Volleyball theme, which was hilarious. And like, hey, I played that game before.
Yeah, I've played the game before too. Like people, you can admit to playing the game. It was a perfectly cromulent volleyball game, right? And here in the FGC, we love our volleyball, so that's why we got the game.
100%. Yeah. But yeah, it was hilarious. And so the stream ended like that when everyone was like going Gooner, which rightfully so. But what was also really funny about it is like, so like after the stream, like LK kind of explains like how he got to know the song, which is basically like on his streams, like every Christmas for like 4 or 5 years in a row, he would get super drunk and stream that game essentially. And that's why, and like just be at the casino and just like be betting money. And so like that's how he knew that song so well. But just the context in which it happened, like the timing, like everything, it was hilarious. Definitely check the live stream out. Like if you
there's some good stuff. Check it out. Where can it be found?
It is on Justin Wong's Twitch channel. So it's J Wong, 3 G's.
J Wong, yeah.
Yeah, J Wong. But yeah, so it's on there. It's like separated into like different clips. I think the music quiz was on day, God, day 3. Yeah, I think it was on day 3. So it was the Monday. But yeah, we raised like over $30,000 for charity. So
That's
I'm really
great.
hoping they bring it back next year.
I,
People seem to really love it. And yeah, I had a couple of interesting moments on there myself, which is forever on the internet now.
that's
Like
how it works.
me, yes, like
At least it's
we don't
forever
have
on
to
the
get into
internet.
that. Yeah.
Positive, funny, joyful versus forever on the internet negative. You know?
Right. No, for sure. But yes, there's a
Like,
lot of very
there's
funny.
forever on the internet, yay, and then there's forever on the internet, dark side Phil, like that. So,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, no, low tier god, LTG also. I don't think he came up in the stream, but he came up in the conversations that we were having after the stream. So yeah, there was discussion for sure.
there's lessons to be learned. There's lessons to be learned, right?
There's
Maybe
lessons
I'll have my
to
own
learn.
content house one day. We'll show how the FGC can handle bikers and meth heads.
Oh
That'll be my
God,
challenge
dude.
for them.
You made your decision to live there,
Hey,
like.
because rent's cheap here, okay? Like, that's the reason I can do what I do. YouTubing doesn't make as much money as you think. But I can live a decent life because I live in a place that people don't want to live in. That's why the rent is cheap. And I'm good at navigating bikers and meth heads. Unfortunately, that's not a life skill I would hope you'd ever get acquainted with. But turns out I can navigate that stuff pretty all right. So there you go.
Yeah, that's a survival skill. That's not.
Hey,
That
when
was
you have
forced on me.
meth heads and prostitutes as roommates, you figure out life real quick.
Oh God. Well,
Got some fun police stories for you, but that's probably not in the purview of Gone with the Wind. Maybe when Gone's an adult,
that's a story for
has his
another
new
time.
adventures. I don't know. But yeah, so speaking of our boy Gone. So
Yes.
we've left off here. We're going to start with episode 19, but we exited on Battle Royale Island, and a lot of the potential hunter candidates were eliminated, and we're basically down to, I believe, 8 people. Which takes us to episode 19, which is Can't Win, but Can't Lose, which is a bit of a, well, I guess, telling title. So they're putting up a tournament, effectively. You know, just like it's your anime classic. This is the tournament arc. Although it
Right,
lasts
it's the
exactly
trope.
like an episode. But, oh well. This isn't quite Tournament of Power or the Budokai Tenkaichi from Dragon Ball, right? And we got
Right.
stacked tournament brackets, too. It's unfair brackets. Some of the people get literally multiple chances, whereas someone like Leorio apparently would only get 1.
I mean, how did they explain the logic of it? It's just like based on their opinion. And, like,
The chairman dude,
how
he's
they
like,
did.
I'm ranking you basically based on your suitability, and the people I think are most qualified will get the most chances. So it's effectively seeding the tournament. And the thing is,
Yes.
everyone except for 1 person will qualify. So 7 of the 8 will go
That is
through,
correct.
right? And thus it
Reverse
looks extra bad on Leorio because he's the only guy who's getting 1 chance.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. Like he did not do anything to deserve to be there. So
Well, he still got there, right? Like a lot of people have died to get where they're at. So there's some skill involved, I would say. But
okay, that's fair. Maybe I'm being too harsh, but he was carried through like the latter half of
yeah,
the arcs.
especially
Pretty
the
heavy.
Battle Royale, he was literally carried by Kurapika in the last bit. And then Gone's
Yeah,
like, oh, by
and
the way, I
Gon.
snatched your badge for you. You know, like the one you're seeking, I got it for you.
Yeah,
So,
literally carried him out of that
very
cave,
literally carried in
so.
the last bit, at the very least. I think that's fair to say, right? Like, when it comes to pulling knives on children, he's an Olympian, but anything else, like, he needs help.
I don't
but
think
here's
that's something to be proud of.
But here's the thing. So this is another episode where my opinion on Gon is shifting for the better. Because early on, like I got, people criticized me like, oh, I just saw Chosen One. That's all I saw in there, right? Chosen One with some flakes of Goku. And then our last podcast, even more Goku, maybe a little less Chosen One. And now even less Goku because we're replacing Goku. Because Goku wouldn't have done what Gon did. So the first match is Hanzo, our ninja boy, versus Gon. And Hanzo, besides Hisoka, is definitely presented as the most competent. Like, they're the two that are, like, presented as heads and shoulders above. Like, Hanzo's obviously not one of the main characters, but, like, he's presented like, I'm still many layers above everyone else, right?
Yes, he's part of the quite literally, the ninja clan. Like, his
Yeah.
clan is just called the Ninja
Yeah,
Clan.
and he's
So,
just the
he's been
ninja. We don't
training
even
for
need
this.
names. We're just the ninjas.
He's
So
been
they have their
training for this
fight.
his whole life.
Yeah, and they have their fight. And here's the thing, which I enjoy. It makes it immediate clear, no fooling. Gon has no chance against them. Like, not they could redo this 1,000 times. Gon will lose 1,000 fights straight. But this is where he loses the Goku-ness. Because Goku will be like, I won't give up. I'll keep fighting till I die. But Gon's not here to fight till he dies. He gets hit, and the guy's like, "Did you give up?" Because it is established here now in the rules. If you kill somebody, you are disqualified. So if you kill someone, the other 7 automatically pass. So you can't kill someone. And also brought up a little bit later, but you can't also interfere in someone else's fight. Or you'll also be DQ'd, right?
That's correct. So literally the only way to win is to get your opponent to
submit.
admit that they give up. Yes.
He does like 3 people get the reference. As mine. This is my favorite movie of all time, Bloodsport. So get Jean-Claude Van Damme and go, Mate! Mate! Say you quit. So you gotta get him to quit. And so Gon can't, like, he's done immediately. Like, it's not even like it's a losing fight. He's done from second 1. He's so beyond him, right? Like, he's like a character from a different anime almost. He's someone from Dragon Ball and fighting like a normal person, right?
He's literally like a child in that instance, right? Like a normal child.
So this is where like him being a kid comes into play. But also this is where the not Goku, so he's like, I won't quit. He's like, okay, you're gonna fight me? No, but I won't quit. And then that kind of becomes a thing. And so this is where I warned you before we hit record. This is where we're gonna get into it. So this is where the Star Trek comes into play. Now, Lord BR here didn't know, but I'm sure every single one of you watching, without a single exception, I can say, oh, well, it's just like War versus the Jem'Hadar and the Dominion War in DS9, and you're like, I get it. Like, I shouldn't even have to explain it, really. We could just move on from there.
That's true.
But
I'm behind.
Just for your benefit, because everyone else is going to get it. But so only for your benefit. We have our boy, you know who Worf in Star Trek is, right?
I've never seen Star Trek.
All right, well, Worf is the Klingon.
First they demand
the Klingons are a proud warrior race.
But they have no sense.
And Worf is of very interesting honor, I guess. He's like one of the very few characters to be in multiple shows.
Okay.
Like, I'm sure you know there's a lot of Star Trek shows, right?
Yes, I do know it was a very long-running show.
Yeah. So Worf is in Star Trek The New Generation. He's in Star Trek DS9. He's even in the Captain Kirk later movies. Like the 6th movie, Quest for Pete, or is it? No, not Superman. Whatever the 6th movie was. So he's like in multiple timelines. So this is like a later timeline. Turns out baddies haven't, like, without going too crazy, because I could get into this. I'm a Star Trek guy, right? There's an evil alien race they're having a fight with, and they have their own warrior species. Funny story. And turns out their evil warrior species are so much better than the Klingons and Worf. And here's the thing, but they're also a proud warrior species, even if they're the bad guys, right? And this bad guy, Jem'Hadar, is clowning our hero Worf to a comical degree. Worf cannot fight back. Like, it is not happening in a million years. But he has his Saiyan pride, right? Like Vegeta would say. Right. So he no matter what, even if he can't win, he won't give up. And since the other guy's also like warrior race kind of deal, he's like, this guy will die before he will die before I beat him, right? And so, in the end, he goes to his boss and is like, I give up. I can't beat this Klingon. He's like, I can kill him, but I can't beat him. Because that's a very different thing. Right? I can kill him, but I can't beat him.
They're not allowed to kill each other.
Oh, actually, this is DS9's where Star Trek sort of got edgy. Like, there's like killing and all that stuff, but it's specifically, it's like warrior, proud warrior versus proud warrior. And that's kind of where we're at. So Hanzo's like, I can easily kill you. Like, winning the fight is a foregone conclusion, but you will never give up. And like, he's booming. He's like, give up. And he's like, no. Eventually, I'll cut off your fucking legs. How about that? He's like, well, I guess I'll bleed to death, and I'll die, and that means you lose. And it just, like, this is legitimately just the majority of the episode. And, like, that's why I'm kind of harping on it just specifically. Because it basically comes down to how stubborn Gon is. Because it turns out he's pretty stubborn, right? It's definitely been a trait established already. But he would rather die than say he gives up, actually.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I think we've seen it to, like, this extreme degree. And the fact that he's just so determined
Oh, sorry, wait a second. For the people who watch the video part of this,
Oh, yeah.
that all stuff, I'm so getting copyright strike by Paramount for showing a little bit of Star Trek footage. Doesn't matter, though. This channel's not monetized. But yeah, go ahead.
Where was I? Yeah, the fact that, okay, so, like, the explanation that Gon gives at the end as to, like, why he's being so stubborn is basically so that he can meet his dad, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's literally, like, willing to die to meet a man who abandoned him.
Yeah.
I think it really
100%.
just goes to show, like, how, like, kind of just, like, illogical he is. Like, he is such a one-track mindset.
He's
when
got
it
blinders
comes
on.
to
You know,
his
like,
goals.
he has one
Yes.
future, he sees nothing else.
Right. His
Yeah.
goals, his friends, they are good. Right. Everyone else, everything else, like he does not like mess with it. They will not get in his way. He is going to get there no matter what. So it's definitely like a little bit of like naivete or like naivety,
Absolutely.
like in the way he sees the world. But yeah, I just thought like it's a very interesting character moment, and we definitely see a lot more of that like in the upcoming episodes as well.
But yeah, just to break it down, like, so Hanzo's just like, bitch, I'll kill you. And Gon's like, okay, do what you gotta do, but I'm moving forward. And then he's just so fucking frustrated. He's like, fine, you win. And then this is where Gon, he started getting me. And then he lost me a little bit again. Because it's like, no, you can't give up. And the guy's just like, well, what do you want? You won't give up. He's like, well, we got to work it out together to have a fair fight. He's like, well, the fight was the fair fight. And you lost, but you won't give up. So I guess I got to walk away. And eventually he just knocks him out. Because, like, I'm not dealing with this literal child anymore. I'm so done with him. Because he's so stubborn. So he like, that's like legitimately like over half the episode is just that moment. That's kind of what we got to talk about here. But yeah, so like that's basically it here. I'm just looking at my notes here. Oh, and during the whole time, I wrote here, Leorio and Kurapika have the role of Yamcha and Piccolo. Because they're on the sidelines the whole time and Gon's getting beat up, and they're both doing the and they're like, oh, I'm gonna get in the fight, and then like, but you know, it's dishonorable.
Eyes are turning red.
Yeah, they're filling the roles of like Yamcha and Piccolo would be like on the sidelines, but they won't actually do anything. But they'll just have, you know, disconsternation. I can't even spell or think of the word here. But yeah, and I got here 1 second here.
I mean, yeah,
I do have
they're
here
the stand-in for the audience.
Yeah,
Sorry.
they're just doing it specifically in such a Dragon Ball way. And I wrote here just my hot take notes. Gon too stupid to surrender. I wrote here, probably won't show up, but Worf versus the Jem'Hadar. So that was my immediate hot take. So that's why I knew I had to come back for that discussion for Star Trek. 3-hour beatdown. Berserk, Griffith breaks Guts' arm. Because that's also a Berserk thing. So we have more Berserk references. Because that's the exact same fight happens in Berserk. Where Guts is too stubborn to give up. And he's like, you better give up. And he's like, okay, I'll break your arm, whatever. And he just breaks his arm. Red Eyes coming out. Oh, I do note here, this is before it. I just wrote, just realized no more Rookie Slayer, fuck this show.
Yeah, dude. No, like I said, there's no fanfare. Like, he just drops out. And that's it. You don't see him again.
Yeah, so I had that moment here. I do not know why I wrote this. Once again, my hot take notes, they're hot takes. So I wrote down Killua more like Bitula. I don't know why I wrote that down. He must have did something to displease me, but
I don't even remember him being in this episode.
He just like showed up, said something, but yeah, and then get wharfed. But that's it. That's effectively the episode. Like, unless you got something else to add, it's mostly just the Hanzo and Gon show.
Yeah, no, it's basically like a little bit of a character moment. And you said earlier, you mentioned like your opinion of Gon had changed a little bit after seeing this episode. Do you mind like elaborating on that a little
Well,
bit?
because I like that. I love, like, I grew up with Star Trek. I love Worf. That's like maybe one of the most defining memories of Worf in all of Star Trek history. So I saw it and like, yeah, okay. Like I'm like, because once again, I immediately out of the gate, because I'm just like, okay, childhood destiny, blah blah blah, and he's proving to me not that. The only thing he lost me on is then he becomes a kid again. It's like, well, I don't want to win that way. I don't want to just win because you won't kill me. I'm like, what's your end game here, kid?
Right.
Like,
Yes.
are you gonna play rock paper
Okay.
scissors for it? Because if you lost, you'd still say you won't give up. So, but I like
Well,
conviction. I like conviction. I like the strength of the human soul, right? Where
Giving hot takes, doing what's against the grain.
Yeah.
Wonder who that sounds like.
but just I like being able to have conviction when it's not just through martial prowess as well, right? Because he didn't just win the fight because he's the chosen mountain boy who's somehow turbo strong, although it's going to come up next episode of his supernatural strength. That'll just randomly pop up again, but he didn't win because of that, right? Like, we have here, like, he's just outclassed by so many people around him, but his heart's in the right place, so I do like that.
Okay. No, respect. And yeah, like, obviously at the beginning where we saw like all like the mobs or whatever dying, like they're clearly like not as qualified as Gon. So I think it gives you a little bit of context of just being like, okay, Gon is like way better than like the average person. But then when you start to get people like, like Hisoka or like Hanzo, then you're like, oh, like he still has a lot to learn.
Yeah.
And like in the later arcs, you clearly see like there is a ton that they still need to learn in order
He's
to
like in the top 1%,
become.
but then when the top
Yes.
1% becomes the level playing field, then he's just middle of the pack.
Exactly. But he's also still a kid, so he's doing really good for his age. I think Hanzo's like a he's like a late teenager or something like that.
He looks like a young adult. Like, everyone there except for the old Kung Fu master, which we'll talk about, because some shit happens there. Everyone there seems like young, even Hisoka. Like, I don't know. I just assume Hisoka's like 25 at oldest.
I have no clue.
I don't know. Like, he's definitely not just a teenager, but like he's definitely not older either, right? Like,
right.
So I just assume. I don't know.
Wild. He might be younger than me.
Yeah.
That's weird to think about. Anyways, moving on.
Trust me, when you get to my age, everyone's younger than you. So there you go.
I'll get there someday, hopefully.
Well, fun 40-year-old fact. I went to play some of the Magic the Gathering because they have the new Final Fantasy set.
That's right. That was everywhere.
Yes.
I pre-ordered, I don't know, like one of like the basic deck. I don't even know anything about Magic the Gathering. I just bought the cards because they're
I'm building 2 commander decks, both Terras, because Final Fantasy 6 is my game. But when I went there, I woke up wrong. As in, I just woke up
on the wrong side of the bed.
No, I woke up wrong, and then I couldn't use my leg for a day. My leg was just done.
Something?
I had to take a. I went to the store. Thankfully, it's not too far away from me to go play Magic, and I limped there. And that'll just happen when you're 40. Is one day you're gonna wake up and my leg's fucked. You didn't do anything wrong. You just went to bed, and then you're done for the next couple days. It's only now my leg is feeling better.
Jesus Christ.
So that's what you have to look forward to.
It came out last week, right? The decks came out last week.
Yeah, and I spent more money than I should have. Let's put it that way. But
yo, those like the collector, I don't know what they're called, but like the collector editions of the decks, wasn't that like $650 USD? I don't know how much that is in Canadian.
I'll give you one secret shame before we move on here. Where is it? All right. One secret shame before I move on. So I pulled the card I wanted. I did. But the problem is there's more than one art. And I didn't pull the art I wanted.
Oh my god. All right.
So we have here Terra Magical Adept, and this is the original artist who did the art. So this is the Final Fantasy VI artist.
Yeah, she looks great.
So she looks like the old art, but she's also a flip card.
Oh.
And so it has the Esper art as well. And so
right.
I pulled the card, but it's not the I wanted this art, so I spent like $100 fucking to buy the one with the art I wanted because I'm a fucking sucker. So spend your money better than me, kids, is what I'm trying to say.
I thought you were saying like, oh, I'm very good at saving and like.
Yeah, and I am. And then you have the rare moment like this where it turns out all my savings are not, and like fucking my life has come to folly, basically. So
I mean,
find a cheap.
Listen,
I always said find a cheaper hobby Magic. I used to play fucking Warhammer. Okay, so like, it's even worse. That's why I was so bad with money when I was younger.
There was a huge Warhammer store in Tokyo. I was like, like mind you, like I never played Warhammer. I've never played any like
don't
like TCGs. But
read the books; it's cheaper.
Yeah, I fair enough. But yeah, with like TCGs and stuff like that, like I wouldn't mind trying them out, but it's like, dude, I already have so many things to collect. I just don't need to.
No. That's why I can't play Warhammer. Like, let alone it being too expensive. Warhammer, when it's your hobby, it has to be your primary hobby. It will not allow being a side hobby.
Rooflemonger, new Warhammer YouTuber, if fighting games doesn't work out.
I used to play like back in like from 3rd to 5th. I was Dark Eldar and Chaos because I was an edgelord. But like a game of Warhammer can be like 2 hours. And that's including setting up minis and all that crap. So anyway, but we're digressing. We will digress here and we will digress again. But for now, let's go to episode 20. And if you can lead us into episode 20.
Sure, yeah. And keep in mind, I did not take great notes on what exactly happened in these episodes, and it's been like at least 2 weeks since I've seen it.
Episode 20 is called The Baffling Turn of Events.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I did not write that down.
I had all the names, don't worry.
Basically, okay, so how this episode starts off is essentially like Gon wakes up, he's like in some sort of like hospital bed or something like that. I think like God, who's by his bed? Like
it's the butler running guy.
Yeah,
the run hunter type.
Yeah. Satots, something like that. I don't remember his name. But he wakes up, he's next to Gon, you know, they're talking for a little while about what happened in his match. He's like, Gon is like having a nightmare about
it's not a recap episode, but like it's like a flashback episode because it's all already happened.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So like basically he wakes up and then so like the episode kind of goes in reverse where it's like you already know the outcome, which is that Killua was disqualified, right? But you don't know exactly how it happened. So they're kind of like backpedaling into it essentially. And as Gon is talking to Satots or whatever the guy's name is, basically he kind of explains a little bit more about like why exactly they do the hunter, like why do they do the hunter exam. And literally I remember one thing that distinctly stood out to me is that he says, if there weren't bad people out there trying to take advantage of the exams, they would pass everyone. I distinctly remember that because I was like,
well, we got at least 2 very bad people who passed this exam in this very episode.
I was like, I can't believe he literally just said that because, like, exactly what you said. Yeah. That literally happened in this whole, like, just now.
Like, Hisoka already stated, I just want my license so I can freely murder people without any consequence.
Exactly. He says that. Illumi literally threatens to kill...
so that's the brother. Well, I guess we'll get to that. And thank you for saying the name because I totally forgot. But so when we do this, so we was still technically our tournament arc, right? So then we do Kurapika versus Hisoka, and I was very let down. I was looking forward to a fight because I didn't know it. I didn't know this arc ends here right now. So I thought we're like, okay, it's gonna be like 5, 6, 7 episodes, right? And then they fight for like 3 seconds, and then Killua tells him, or Hisoka tells Kurapika a secret.
He whispers something to Zia.
And then he's like, I drop out, bye bye. But he's seated high, so he'll get more opportunities to fight later, right?
Right.
Then so Ninja Guy fights the archer dude, the dude with like the beanie, and he just like does the same thing he did to Gon. Yeah, I can't remember his name to save my life, but he does the same thing he did to Gon, but he does not have Gon's internal fortitude, right? So he just gives, because like I'll break your arms, like okay, yeah, I don't want my arm broke, so I'll give up. Then we do Hisoka versus the old Kung Fu Master. And I do have here, I'm very proud of this. I wrote that he gets clowned on. Bam! There we go. He says some words to him. I can't remember if they elaborate on it. He says something to him to make him quit. Then we have Killua versus the Archer. And this is stupid. Because Killua also just gives up. And it's not like he had any reason to give up. Other than maybe he considers him below him. But like, who the fuck are you? Like legitimately, like, there's no reason, right? Like at least Hisoka versus Kurapika, he told him some sort of dastardly secret that we don't know, right? So he had something to say before he dropped out, right? Versus Killua is just like, eh. And then he just doesn't fight the guy.
No, I agree. It was a very weak.
Oh, this is a typo.
It's like you should have messed him up, dude.
Yeah,
like, you should have fought him and beat him and what. But yes, anyways.
I'm just checking my hot take notes here, right? There's absolutely a typo here that got auto corrected because I have here clown fuck with Pikachu, and I'm pretty sure I wrote my clown fights with Kurapika, but autocorrect had other things in mind with that.
Autocorrect just knows. Autocorrect already knows what you want to say.
But yeah, so now to get to it, so the next hot take mode I just wrote down was Killua brother. So the pinhead guy, we did see him before. He takes his pins out of his head, and then he's like somebody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it turns out he does it again, and it turns out that somebody else is Killua's brother. And then there's like a big moment because then he has like his what? It's like my brother. And he's all like, concerned what's going on. And then it turns out there's like hell of family drama. Like the brother don't approve. Like the brother needs the hunter license to do a job or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And I think Killua just kind of like ran away from home. He like stabbed his mom or something. He just wanted to take the hunter exam for fun, but clearly at this point,
sorry, we just lost you for a second.
Oh,
yeah, there we go.
Okay, sorry. Where did I cut out? My bad.
I just like mentioned like he stabbed his mom. Like Killua ran away is established. Yeah.
Yes. He ran away, stabbed his mom in the process. But at this point, I feel like he's far enough into like the hunter exam where he does want to pass it. Like he wants to pass it with Gon because like they're such good friends at this point. So clearly at this point, like he's got a little bit of skin in the game where initially he probably didn't. But
that's kind of the crux of this episode, actually. Like once we get past that original stuff, so they have the family drama, and the brother's like, just drop out, go back home, blah blah blah. We don't need you. Like only one of us needs a license. Just be a good kid, right? And then Killua's like, well, I gotta do this, so then Gon will be my friend. And it's like kind of a power of friendship sort of episode going on, right?
That's cute. They're kids.
Yeah.
They're kids.
And Leorio gets mad and is like, are you stupid? Do you not realize you're already friends with Gon? Like, what's going on? And then he's like, what? We're already friends?
I know.
Yeah.
Leorio being the voice of reason.
And I'm not gonna hold it like that's obviously like very like kid show kind of stuff, but like he also proven like he doesn't have a normal upbringing. Having a friend's obviously not normal for this kid, right? This like child of assassins. So like I'll give him the sweep on that one, right? So it's not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
But then the brother's like, pigs like you can't have friends. So who's this Gon guy anyway? I guess I'll just kill him. And then he just like turns out like, I'm just going to kill him right now. Let's go. And then he like, I think he kills one of the guards because they can't kill other contestants, but they can just kill anybody else. So he's kind of we're going full assassin mode immediately. Then Hanzo, Kurapika, and Leorio are like, they're doing the, no, you can't pass, right? Mm-hmm. He's like, well, shit, if I kill them, and he's like, well, actually, if I kill Gon, I'll be disqualified no matter what. It's like, wait a second. Okay, I'll get my hunter license, then I'll kill him. Problem solved. And the whole time, Killua's just like, no, it's my friend. You can't do it.
He's freaking out.
Yeah.
He's freaking out.
And
yeah, you can kill an examiner. Not Gon, but you can kill an examiner.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So, but yeah, Killua has no recourse other than say I yield, right? Because like
Right.
It is not shown, but it is like made clear the brother is exponentially like 100 times stronger than him. Like he has no chance, right? I do have some uncharitable notes about Killua here for my hot takes. So I had there Killua brother, then magic of friendship, then Killua loser bitch, then Killua emasculated and cucked. So
There might be a reason for that
Yeah.
I will not disclose.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know, but we'll find out in the future, I guess. But yeah. So like, but yeah, he basically just yields fully, and like, to that I have no qualms. Like he's putting like a rock in a hard place, right? If I don't do this for my brother, then he's gonna kill my friend, right? And then it turns out the brother's like, yeah, I was just fucking with you. Like, what? I wasn't gonna do that. It's good. It's good you made the choice you did. But I wasn't gonna do it, you know. Like, who do you think I am, right? Some assassin?
Yeah, well, who would have thought that he was capable of killing someone? Ooh.
Yeah. But then he's like, but yeah, kid, go home. This ain't for you. You ain't cut out for having friends. And so then we get to the part where, just like we had our big moment last podcast, where like Leorio stocks went tumbling down really hard. We have our moment where Killua stocks come tumbling down real hard. Because what does we do? We go to the next fight. Leorio's about to fight the old man, the old kung fu man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Killua's like, yeah, yeah, and then he just fucking kills the old guy. He like rips his heart out of nowhere. And that's basically how we end here, kinda.
Yeah. And Leorio passes somehow.
Yeah,
It's not like he got his opponent to
so
surrender,
Killua by
but-
killing the guy, that means he's DQ'd, and this everyone automatically pass. There's no more need for any other fights. Everyone has auto pass because Killua was DQ'd, right? But Killua is so pissy, he just killed somebody over it, and I guess this leads directly. I'm sorry.
I think he was. I don't think he was pissy. I think he was so mentally disturbed, and that like some sort of training from way back in the day just kicked in to where like he had to take it out.
Perhaps,
you know.
As we've discussed in the previous episodes of Going with the Wind, I said people find life awful cheap in this universe, and so our next episode is episode 21.
He was old anyways. The old man was old anyways.
Oh.
He's on the way out.
So episode 21 is some brother trouble, and I guess fair enough because we do got brother trouble. And so I started here. A man is dead. This is my hot take notes. A man is dead, and nobody is blinking an eye, just arguing fucking semantics. Because all they're doing is making excuses for him. Kurapika and Leorio was like, well, Kurapika's saying something like, oh, well, actually, he must have been hypnotized. And it's like, even though there's no hypnotism in the world that exists, like, what do I have here? What? Even though this is generally considered impossible, that's an exact quote, that it must have been hypnotism, so he killed it. And then Leorio gives some sort of different excuse. They're all just excusing him killing an old man in cold blood because he's a salty bitch. And then goes to his brother's like, you're mean to my friend. Even though my friend just murdered an old man in front of everybody. Like, no one blinks, and it's just excuses for fucking killing this old guy. Excuse. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, man. They care more about their friendship with
I love my
Killua
friends.
than-
A good friend, like, you know what's the difference between a good friend and a great friend? A great friend will help you move. That's a great friend. Excusing open murder in the street, I don't know what the fuck that is. That's conspirator. That's not friendship, right? Like, that's something else.
Right. No, I mean, I definitely agree. Like, I don't think there was any excuse for what he did. And you're right. Like, this whole section is pointless because at the end of the day, literally, I forget who exactly says this, but they're like, we're just arguing semantics at this point. Like,
Yeah, the chairman doesn't give a shit. Like,
Killua
he's just all good.
was
He's just like, oh, you're
a
all
pass.
hunters. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. I get wound up about certain things, so that's why we're doing the podcast. Yes.
You really care about ethics and having good morals, and I think it it's a sign that, you stand by those things in real life. By the way, the last comment I said about the old man, I was joking.
Yes,
Please
I know.
don't,
Yeah,
please don't click.
we don't cancel her over that. We'll do plenty by the end. By the time this is done, we'll do plenty of cancelable things. I'm sure. Just don't cancel her for that. But yeah, and I just see if I would have watched that when I was like 13 years old, when he just like randomly iced that dude, I'd be like, "Fuck yeah!" He doesn't take guff from nobody, right? Because like when I was young, my favorite superheroes were Venom and Carnage. When I got older, my favorite superhero became Superman. So I definitely had to, like when we just mentioned Warhammer, right? So when I played in third, I played the Dark Eldar. The Dark Eldar are like the fucking BDSM, sex and torture, Hellraiser cult army. Like that was like, yeah, that's what I'm all about, And so I had my edgelord phase, right? But I'm out of it.
That was the cultural like theme at that time, right? So it makes sense. Edgelords.
Yeah. The 90s, like I'm a product of the 90s, and the 90s was the edgelord time, right? So, but yeah, so there's more to the episode. I know I'm hyperfixating on this one thing. Gon does yell quite a bit at the brother. He grabs his arm. It is revealed later. He grabs his arm so hard he actually broke his arm, the brother's arm. Illumi,
right, which is crazy.
Is the name?
Yes, Illumi,
yes.
And it's also, this is random, but it's funny. The entire time they're like arguing, like Gon's just like gripping Illumi's hand. You see him in the background. He's just gripping it the whole time. And it's just like, bro, you can let go. You can let go. You don't have to hold it that long.
Yeah, and they're giving a morality play on the like, you shouldn't be so mean to your brother and all that. You can't control his life. Not so much a morality play of you shouldn't murder innocent people, but I digress.
Well, clearly the Hunter Committee doesn't care about that either, so why should they care about it, right? They're all getting their license anyways, so.
Well, that's it. So a good portion of the episode is dedicated to, so you all have your hunter license now, right? And hunters, like, if you have your hunter card, you can do anything. You can travel anywhere. You basically have infinite money almost. Like, it's a golden ticket. It's a Willy Wonka golden ticket, right?
Right. They even explain that you can actually sell your card,
yes.
Which I found very odd because I was like, why would you tell them that you could sell your card? And also, like, if you sell your card, they didn't really explain this, but like, is that person that you sold the card to considered a hunter?
The way it was, like, I guess they didn't explicitly say, but the way it made to me is having the card is what makes you a hunter. That's the way it was, like, that came off to me. So if you sell, someone else is a hunter. So maybe there's like an infinite money glitch. Every year you qualify, become a hunter, sell it, and then take the test again next year.
Well, no, they said you only get one card because if you lose the card, they're not going to give you.
Oh, okay, so then okay, we got that. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the card's extra special. And
extra special.
Then we began basically like we're on a bit of a we're beginning to get a bit of a journey. So Killua has effed off. He's in like a fugue state. He apparently went home. Hisoka shows up. He didn't show up too much, but him and Illumi have a chat. And Hisoka's like, hey, cool thing, breaking that kid's mind. Dig it. I got this own kid I'm working on too, Gon. Trying to do that a bit myself. And by the way, don't touch Gon or I'll fucking kill you. Like, he's mine.
Yeah, he literally, I think one thing that stood out to me was that Illumi literally says during that conversation, like, I know your tastes, like in reference to Gon. And I was like, bro, I don't like where this is going.
That's it's some suspect language. I got written down here. He has, I think it's the second time I wrote this down in the previous episode, but yeah, he has another clown-gasm. Because he's all like, and just like smiling up into the air and stuff and like laughing to himself, thinking about Gon. But before the episode ends up, so they talk to Archer Kid a little bit. They mention that Gon's dad's like extra special. Mm-hmm. And they got this amazing tool called the Intarnet. And they can use email addresses. They got to go to Kukuru Mountain. Yeah, which makes me think of Steins Gate. The one girl, her catchphrase is "Tuturu." So "Tuturu, Kukuru," kind of the same thing. Steins Gate, 10 out of 10, by the way. Watch it.
I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
Legitimate 10 out of 10. So by now, viewer or listener, because we are audio only now too at home, there's a couple friends I've always watched anime with, right? And we all have very divergent tastes in what we like in anime. Steins Gate is the only one all three of us agree are a 10 out of 10. So it's excellent.
What do you think is a 10 out of 10 besides that?
Oh, Eva. Eva's 20 out of 10. But I'm old, weird, and have, as you're learning, strange opinions about anime, so...
You got hot takes. You're a little bit of a contrarian. That's okay.
I'm a contrarian because, once again, hashtag ask questions. But yeah, anyway, Steins Gate, legitimately excellent. But where were we? So yeah, I didn't mention
the talk about his dad.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm just letting.
So they mentioned here it's like a mountain fortress. And for me, history nerd as well. That's one of the things I got in my brain. So there's a very famous siege, the siege of Masada. This is the Roman against, I believe it was still the Jewish state at the time. And it was like a bunch of assassins on a mountain. And I'm sure this is just completely not referencing that. But I thought that was like, oh, well, I know of another assassin mountain siege. Or assassins on the mountain thing and having a real history. And it's an interesting siege because the Romans built a second mountain and then just walked over. Like, they didn't do the whole let's climb. Okay. No, we'll build our own mountain and just walk in.
That, I gotta go look this up. That sounds
That's the siege of Masada. Wild. There's a reason the Romans took over the world. They're pretty industrious.
That's pretty freaking crazy.
Actually, wait a second. No, it would have been Jewish rebels because Judea would have been a state. It would have been province of Rome by then, I think. I don't know. That's history buff talk. Yeah.
I did not know that about you.
Yeah, but it's a feat of Roman engineering. Oh, you're on a mountain? Fuck you, we'll build our own mountain. Like, we'll just climb up our own mountain, then just walk to the side. So, I see assassins on the mountain. That triggered that little history response in my brain.
No, I mean, that is, like, fun. I think it reminds me a little bit more of, like, ninjas, where they used to have, like, their secret hideouts and, like, mountains and stuff like that. And, you know, that's more so what I got. But
yeah, it's a very anime thing. It's just that there's a real world corollary to it. And that just triggered that part of my brain real quick. But yeah, they find out, like, his dad's a big deal. Apparently his dad pioneered a lot of hunter techniques and, like, just things. The butler guy's talking about it. And we do have a part here to end this episode. This is the part where I literally screamed at the TV.
I remember.
So when they do all this, so I mentioned previously, because there's a lot of hunter trials and all that. And then it's like, okay, well, we did this, but now the real hunter exam begins. And now the real hunter. And so they're doing this, and it's like, right, little does Gon know that now the real hunter exam begins. And all this was bullshit. So they have their card and everything, right? But like, this isn't even the real hunter exam yet. And
I mean, it is over technically, but like, I was watching this with a friend, and he said the exact same thing. I was like, well, kind of. I would say that's
I don't need no hot take notes, because I remember I yelled at the TV, fuck right off. And that was my state at that moment.
You don't like the
It's not even that I don't like it. It's just they've done this already so many times. Like, we're going to be on episode 100, and then, like, I don't even know the character. He's going to fight not Cell, and then Cell's like, now you're finally ready for the real hunter exam. And like that's basically where I think the show is going. Like, this is all just smoke and shadows. And like, the real hunter exam is only the final episode. And then, you know what? You're forcing my hand here.
I will neither confirm nor deny that there is more to go in the hunter exam. But also at the very end, and I don't want to get ahead if like you have something to show me, but the very last scene at the end where they're like running to the airport, I was like, your boy Tompa, he could have been running alongside them.
All right, so here we go. Unfortunately, you will not be able to hear the audio on it because of our setup.
Okay.
But to me, when the real hunter exam is finally over,
oh, that's at the end of Ava, right? right? And we're just like,
This is when the real hunter exam's finally over. Until this happens, I don't believe anything they're telling me.
that's funny. And the last couple of episodes of Ava were like, I was like, what is even going on? I did not understand what was going on.
Wait. Gotta give Pen his props. Greatest show ever made, by the way. Just to put it out there. But yeah. So that's when until I see that, the real hunter exam is never over at this point. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I think the hunter exam's over. There's just a little bit more to learn.
I can't remember
on the road of life. There's more to learn on the road of life.
I don't know. I complained about this to a friend who knows the show as well, and he just gave me, it's like, just you wait. So I don't even know.
You do wait. That's fair advice. Just you wait.
You know what? Funnily enough, that's what we're gonna do, because that's why the show's gonna keep going. So, but yeah. So the next episode, A Dangerous Watchdog, episode 22.
These episodes are fun. I really love these next couple of episodes.
It's like a new arc, a mini arc.
Yeah, it is a mini arc, and basically what is happening is that Gon and his friends are going to, so Gon, Kurapika, Leoria, they're going to Kukuru Mountain, in the country of Paldokia, which is interesting. I think, and I don't know this for sure, but I think all the regions in this world are technically based on real life places. I don't know like where Paldokia is technically based on, but like, you've heard them reference like York New City, and that's clearly like,
well, that's a spoiler for the end, yes, but they do end on we're going to York New City.
No, they've mentioned
have they?
York New City before. Yes,
that is the climax of where we're going to end up, though, because they're going to York New City.
They are. Yeah. They're going to the greatest city on earth. But I also found it interesting. This is something I just remembered in the rewatch. So like, anyways, so they go to Paldokia or whatever. They get on this, like, they find this tour bus that's gonna take them to Kukuru Mountain or whatever. And the tour guide, her eyes are like those Akira Toriyama eyes.
Yes, I got no. She's another Akira Toriyama character. Yeah.
She is. I just found that interesting. But yeah, that's something I did not notice that in like previous watch throughs.
Yeah, it's such a distinct, like, obviously, like, very few anime have more distinct looks than Dragon Ball, right? So when you see any traits that are even remotely the same, it like sticks out. And so it's that other girl from the prison thing and that bus lady like really stuck out. But I got here, this is basically like the tourist trap episode. The deadliest tourist trap, because they literally can just bus up to the assassin fortress, right? And it's like, hey, we're here, cool.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty insane. They're driving up this road, and it's like literally on the edge of a cliff, and I'm like, I wouldn't want to be here, but all right, I guess we're going up this mountain. And the mountain does actually remind me a little bit of if you've ever played Wind Waker, like Dragon Roost Island.
Yes.
I don't know why.
Yes.
I just got those vibes when I saw this
back
mountain.
when Zelda was still good. And we're gonna pour on more hot takes. More like Breath of the Mild. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, sir. That's one of my favorite games right there.
I bought it and I returned it after 10 hours of play. Because I've played open world games before, it had nothing new for me.
Okay, that is fair, but
I've rarely got Twitter hate mobs on me more than the fact that I don't like Breath of the Wild.
I mean, I can see an argument being made that, like, oh, you don't like the story, you don't like the soundtrack.
Oh no,
I kind of get those.
The soundtrack of Zelda's immaculate. I don't like my shit breaking every 5 seconds.
Okay, that's fair. The inventory management system
sucks. Hot mess.
It's absolutely terrible.
The fact that the Master Sword can break. What?
It doesn't break. It just like goes into dormancy and it has to recharge, and it mechanically it is.
I played a bunch of those and I picked out that game and every other game and I used that shit for the rest of the game. Versus and then I can't use it for a while.
But I don't think all of those things, even though those are aspects of the game that I don't enjoy, I think they're still not they're still not like grave offenses to me. Like, yes, it's not ideal, right? But I still really enjoy the world and walking around the world and being able to do different activities.
No, the
and
part
being
where you're
able
walking
to
around,
go
like that's the best part of the game. The part where you're
100.
exploring, that is absolutely the best part of the game. But then the problem is, then you play the game after that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I spent like 200 hours exploring, and then
Yeah.
like I like rushed the boss in like a couple of hours, and then after that, I was like, oh, I'm done.
But here, I'll give you this, because unfortunately, I've learned a thing or two about pushing people's buttons
Not
over the
worth
years.
that.
So if you are at home, I'm talking to you directly, whether you like that game or not, find someone who likes the game, and then just call it Breath of the Mild, and you will provoke like I just got a good reaction out of you saying that. People who are fans will not stand still for that exact verbiage. You will get a response. So it doesn't matter if you agree with it or not. If you just want to provoke a reaction, Breath of the Mild will get a reaction. Also, same vein, wrestling. Find a wrestling fan, make them say, it doesn't matter what they say, make them say anything, and then just look at them and say, okay, Mark. And then be dismissive and leave it there. Trust me, you'll see their face contort like nothing else. You don't even need to know what that means. It actually helps if you don't know what that means. But just go.
I have no clue what that means.
Find a wrestling fan, have them say something about wrestling, and just go like this. Make it, Mark. And then walk away.
Dude.
And they'll be screaming at you. Trust me.
The fighting game to wrestling pipeline is so real, because like this past weekend when we were playing all the different like we're doing like the random play games, right? Essentially where you like you play a bunch of different games, someone can donate, the game changes immediately. There were so many wrestling games, dude, and I was like, what the heck is going on?
Well, the wrestling the fighting game pipeline is, do you like big colorful characters with larger than life personalities? Because that is exactly both wrestling and fighting games.
I mean, you're not wrong. Yeah. Even I was mildly intrigued by wrestling because I watched an Eye Patch Wolf video, to them actually on wrestling, and then I was like, "Huh, okay, like it does seem like it is interesting in a lot of different ways." But that's one thing I'm like, ironically, I'm at CEO right now, but
the CEO has a very heavy. The one time I did go to CEO was also when it was part of AEW Fighter Fest.
Right.
So
that was
CEO's very linked to wrestling. Yeah.
Crazy. Like there's and I didn't know this. I literally found this out because like Esteban was telling me about it. But like Jabali, who's, he like runs CEO, like he literally was in a AEW match or something like that back in 2019. I did not know that. I did not know
what was it called? But they had like they did the tack spot. But so Jabali did the tack spot, but it was arcade buttons. So they poured a bunch of like arcade buttons on the mat, then they like slammed them through it.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's
so famous spot,
funny.
But they made it fighting game aligned.
Okay, interesting. I mean, it probably hurts less than the tax too. I mean, I'm sure it still wasn't like
so
great, but it probably hurts slightly less.
There's so many tax spots where like tax spot gone wrong. Because then like, whoops, it went up my nose. Tax aren't supposed to go up your nose.
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. I didn't want to know about this. I did not need to know about this in my life.
Oh.
And y'all wrestling fans.
We're the best kind of wrestling fan is like me, where like we realize it's perverse and immoral. We should have spent our fandom on something else.
Yes, you are the prime example of what wrestling fans should live up to.
I'm what it looks like when you were raised by Hulk Hogan, okay? Hulk Hogan might as well be as big of a parent to me as my actual parents, because that man raised me. If he told me, well, little Hulkamaniacs, say your prayers and eat your vitamins and rob a bank, I would have robbed a bank. And also, no one knows disappointment like a wrestling fan, because Hulk Hogan was my hero, and...
We won't. Even I know about it.
Hey, you know who's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time? Chris Benoit.
I don't know anything.
Oh my!
To someone who knows
nothing
about wrestling.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna leave you with that. I'll leave you in ignorance. The people listening on either the video or the audio podcast, just the fact that she doesn't know Chris Benoit, leave her be. She's blissfully ignorant. Trust me, Hogan is a saint. Okay. Hogan with his mountains of racism and all the monstrous stuff he's like Saint Peter going compared to Chris Benoit. Oh, we just lost focus a little bit there.
Yeah,
he's
the
got to
camera
zoom.
does
Oh,
not
I better
wanna
not do it. I'll
focus
lose
on
focus
me.
too. But yeah, anyways, so wrestling fans, ain't nobody more qualified in being disappointed with your heroes than a wrestling fan. Let's put it that way. And we have digressed a little bit, so we're going to get back on here. So, tourism to Assassin Mountain. And here, I'll just mention this here, and you can mess with the camera and see if we can get you back into focus here.
I'm like, come
But yeah,
on, you can do it.
2 people on the bus were like, you know what? We're rude dudes, and there's like a bounty on the Zoldyck family. There we go. We got you. As Killua's family is the Zoldicks. And my immediate response was, dick, because I'm a child. But anyways.
It's spelled YK, like DYK.
That the spelling like don't matter, okay? It's the pronunciation.
I feel bad for anyone you met named Richard. Just dick.
You're done. You can't be Richard and know me. Like, that's not going to work. Like... It's just not. It's not gonna work. Anyways, so these 2 dudes off the bus are like, yeah, you know what? We're just gonna kill these guys. And then we got like a cool old dude who's like the gatekeeper, and it's like, okay, you know what? It's all BS. Here's a side door. Go through the side door. And it's like, yeah, we're gonna go kill us some Zoldicks. And then it turns out there's a super turbo monster behind the door. And it just eats them and cleanly opens the door again and deposits their skeletons outside.
That's crazy how quick that happens.
It happens like in a flash, right?
There's no flesh on those bones.
No, it's literally picked clean, which I'm sure is easier to animate. So that's one thing. But and obviously that scares off the tour bus at that point. They're not there no more after that.
They had a perfectly normal reaction to people dying.
They saw people die. It's like, oh, something's wrong here. So at least some people are salvageable in this universe. It's basically that, right? So God bless those people. But, you know, Gon and gang is like, oh, well, Turbo Death Monster. Well, that's not going to stop me from seeing my pal. And wait a second. So I'm just checking my notes here because I'm getting confused because these episodes do bleed into each other a little bit. Oh, I do have in my hot take notes here, Goken Asgard. Because the old man, turns out he is turbo jacked.
He's buff as hell.
Like, his biceps are the like, Killua, Leorio, and Gon combined is like his bicep. One of them. Because it turns out the door can be opened, but only if you are like Omega level strong. Like, and he has to do like a Hulk up moment to just move the door.
Yeah, I think they said that each door is like 2 tons or something, 2 tons heavy. So like, I don't even know how that's humanly possible that people can actually.
Yeah, it's something ridiculous like a normal human could never dream, right?
Yes, 100%. And also like just weird thing that kind of struck me as I was watching this moment, it was that like, why did they even bother with this gate? Like, they could totally just have a secret ninja or a secret like assassin base or whatever and not even have a gate announcing that they live here. But I guess they just don't care if people know.
It's well,
right?
the vibe. The vibe I got off of it is kind of like you have to be XYZ strong to enter the gate. So then you're like, you're worthy to be here kind of deal, right? And at some point
but they never take guests.
Yeah. They don't get this as the thing. They do not get guests. They get intruders, but they don't get guests.
Right. So if you're gonna get intruders, you might as well just lay some traps. Don't even bother putting a gate. Just lay some traps.
Yeah.
And
but at some point between here, I think we skip past it. They do a call to the house, and they have the butler, and then we have like assassin grade butlers, which is a theme throughout the next few episodes. Is butlers above the usual power level, right? And it's basically like, well, if you want to see Killua, you got to prove your strength. Like, no, like, because you could be a fake, you could be a changeling or whatever. Like, we don't take it on face value. You're just his friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the cool older dude opens the door for him, because if you go through the main door that's very difficult, then the monster won't attack you. It'll only attack you if you go through the side door. And then they see the monster, and it's kind of like a... I got no word, like... kind of like a European grim fable sort of monster. Like, it's just like 30-foot long wolfhound or whatever. It's also sort of like a man dog.
No light in its eyes, like a really long snout. It's just like, it doesn't look...
It looks
wolf
off.
is like the closest approximation, but it's weird.
And then they're like, okay, so Gon, you understand now, looking at this, never in a billion years could you have fought this. And he's kind of like, no chance.
It's crazy. He's terrified of this like beast, but he's not afraid of Hisoka. So
yeah, and that's the thing. This is the first time I can think of they've shown Gon being scared at all. I can't think of any point to this where he's... So, like, I don't know if, like, Weird Hell Dog ever shows up again as, like, a boss or something later. But, like, they show this as, like, okay, so this is a level of threat that's beyond anything to this point.
For sure. And I also found it interesting that, like, the guard, he calls the dog over. And I was like, why are you calling it over? Like, you just said that there was a very high probability that he would eat, Gon and friends despite a gatekeeper being with them, so I wouldn't like go out of my way to call him here.
This is a roll of the dice universe, I guess. Like, we're just gonna figure it out. But yeah, Gon, they can't touch it, but they got through.
Yes, and then they go to the guardhouse, right? Or like where they live or whatever.
Yeah, they're like at a guardhouse, and it's like, okay, so you're in now. But you gotta basically, I'll let you in to see what you're up against, but then you gotta kind of go back, right? But it's like, what we'll do is and I guess this kind of bleeds in episode 23, a guard's duty. So they're in the house, but it's like, okay, so we're here to show you what's up, but you have to open the door on your own merit. So what we're gonna do is we're going full Dragon Ball here, and we're gonna do weight training. And they give him like the weighted vests. I've worn those before, actually. It's very funny. Because I used to have a roommate that was very into working out. And he had a 75-pound weighted vest.
My God.
And he struggled to walk with it. And I shamed him, not because I was any stronger than him. Because I'm not. He was definitely stronger than me. But I am bigger and fatter than him. So... an extra 75-pound vest to me is a smaller percentage of body weight, right? And my legs are 5 times. Like I have like calves of the gods because I'm tall and I'm fat. So I walk everywhere, and my legs are turbo muscular. So I put that on. I'm like, oh yeah, it's heavy. Versus like brought them to the ground. But yeah, that shit's no joke. Regardless, like that's heavy.
I actually use a weighted vest when I do my walks and workouts and stuff like that, just to make it harder for myself. I mean, I only do 20 pounds because like 75 pounds is more than half of my weight, mind you. So that would be a little bit extreme, but no, it's really heavy. And it's funny, you say Dragon Ball moment. My mind immediately went to like Rock Lee when, he's training and he has like the weights and his around his ankles.
Thankfully, but unfortunately. So, unfortunately, I do know that moment because it's been linked to me multiple times. Thankfully, I do not know much about Naruto. Unlike Gon with the Wind, there ain't no Naruto fighting game. And no arena games are not fighting games. Ain't no Ultimate Shippudens getting me to watch Naruto.
Jump Force?
It's an arena fighter, which is not a fighting game.
Some of the Jump Forces, I would say, were like...
We just had this fight about the Bleach game. And it doesn't matter because all those games suck anyways. Like...
I mean, okay, that's fair. That's fair.
But when there's a real fighting game, and hopefully not, when there's a real fighting game, I'll watch either Naruto or One Piece. I hope not. Because this is already like, how many episodes is this? 140 episodes?
It's 100-something episodes.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a time investment. Naruto and One Piece got to be over 1,000 each, right? Like...
Oh, dude, One Piece, like Naruto... maybe we would be okay up to a certain point because we could learn all the characters. One Piece, dude, we're fucked.
I'll die before that. So like I fight against those being a fighting game. So then As long as they're not a fighting game, I don't have to watch it. When I said Hunter x Hunter, well, Hunter x Hunter got a fighting game, I guess I gotta watch it. And hey, here we are, literally, because I'm a man of my word, right? But no Naruto or One Piece fighting game, please, so that way I don't have to watch those.
I've already seen the live action, which I know isn't nearly as long, but it's literally, I think it covers the first 30 episodes or something like that. But I did like what I saw. I just, if I were to watch One Piece, then I could no longer be a YouTuber because, like, I just have no time anymore.
Exactly. You know what? Now, maybe it comes around. There's an Evangelion fighting game, and we can do this show with the roles reversed for us.
That would be really cool. I don't remember anything. I saw it once a long time ago, and I do not remember anything about that show except like the memes.
Hey.
So,
or maybe you can get something actually good, like Avatar: The Last Airbender fighting game. One day
would have been cool.
Yeah, maybe we do that one day, right?
Dope. Oh, I remember one time you were talking. I think this might have been off camera, but you were saying like. Something along the lines of like, well, everything from like my time is in the pop culture, like around when I was growing up is in the pop culture now. And so like anything that's come from then doesn't have like the same cultural staying power.
I had a similar rant not too long ago on stream. I did give Avatar its props. Avatar is one of the few things past my time.
Avatar, I grew up with Avatar. So that is like one of the few things.
I'll give Avatar all the props in the world. Last Airbender.
What about SpongeBob?
I've never seen a single episode of SpongeBob. I have no idea. But Last Airbender,
oh my God.
Season 1, I'd say is a good 8 out of 10. Season 2 is 10 out of 10. Okay. Season 3 is 11 out of 10.
Just gets better and better.
Yeah.
It's just cooking.
And Korra, God bless it. God bless Korra. It's watchable. You know?
Okay.
Korra is a cool character conceptually. The one thing, actually, I'll give it, Korra specifically, it's rarer in anime to have like actually really badass like older characters. And Korra is non-stop badass older characters. Like Lin Beifong and all that, right? Toph's daughter. Right. They do it. Anyway,
I was gonna say, Korra herself isn't that old though, right?
No, she's like 18 or whatever. But I just mean like surrounding cast.
Right. No, that makes sense. But anyways, we're getting very off topic.
We mentioned earlier, we'll go off topic. That's gonna happen. But yeah, so we had the weighted vest. There's also weighted tea. Like literally, like, they can't even like lift their drinks. So this is the level of strength training they need to like open the door, right? And and the one guy there that they meet at the cabin is like, these rookies, he gets some Tomba vibes. These rookies can't do it. And turns out, obviously, he'll be wrong. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a story. But then we see we're introduced to Killua's mother, and I have here immediately in brackets RoboCop, because she has like the RoboCop visor straight up.
You're right. I don't know why, but I was like, "Oh, Cyclops!" Like that was.
Well, yeah, that too. Maybe that's a generational difference, I guess. But I just get hella of even my hot take notes. I have RoboCop mom.
Her design though is like really weird. Like her earrings are like they almost look like bullets, and then her dress is like some Victorian, very frilly ball gown type thing. I think it suits.
It's a clash of styles. Because we do got like that Vicky era stuff, but then also just RoboCop visor, like sort of throws off the feng shui of it all, you know?
Exactly, but I think it just goes to show, like, her design is very weird. She's quirky, like, you get the sense immediately that of her personality, and that she might be a little bit theatrical, which we definitely.
She's dramatic, as the next few episodes will go through. Versus. When he's finally built up, we'll get to it. The dad's like the most chill guy once you get to him. But
he is, but he's kind of scary.
He's kind of scary. We'll get to him when we get to it. But yeah, he's a little scary. But yeah, so we don't have too much. This is kind of like mostly a nothing episode. We also get introduced to his brother who's torturing Killua, it turns out. So Killua is home and he's getting tortured by his brother. And the mom's like, Killua, your friends will never make it here. But then, of course, telling him that his friends are here gives him all the hope in the world, right? It's like, Gon will definitely make it.
What question for you?
Yes.
Do you know the brother's name?
I have him wrote down here as Fat Guy. So, no, I don't know his name.
I mean, that is not inaccurate. It's Maluki. It's Maluki.
Maluki? Okay.
Yes.
Some of the characters that are like the smaller
remember.
characters, I don't immediately catch their names.
No, that's fair. That's fair. And I think like he's not really a major character or anything like that, but I think all the Zoldicks are very interesting and you see them later on. So I remember his name.
Okay, so now next up here, we go back to Gon, Kurapika, and Lirio, and they're doing like a literal training montage to the point where I knew it for what it was immediately, what it was. So I hit pause immediately, and I loaded this up. And unfortunately, you won't be able to hear it. They will, and this will get me copyright striked again, but we're already going to get copyright struck like 4 times on this episode. It doesn't matter. But this is straight up some Rocky training montage stuff going on here, right?
I was literally about to say, like, oh, you're about to play something like that. 100%. I call it.
Yeah.
Call that shit.
So on my end and on their end, the music's playing, but yeah, they're doing like push-ups with the weights on and everything. They're moving stuff around. Like, they're literally doing this, right? And so, which is good. A good training montage ain't ever hurt nobody. There's an art to a training montage. So they did it, and I'm like, good. Like, that's a positive for the show. But
No, and they kept it short. Like, they didn't overstay their welcome. So
no, it was long enough that I could run through a good portion of that song. Because I knew it was going to be more than just like a quick little thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then, so Gon's healed up. Because, I can't remember.
Sorry, I'm yawning. It's just, it's
all good. You got CEO coming up too. It's going to be rough. I can't remember why his arm was in a cast. But his arm was in a cast. Oh, it's probably because Hanzo beat him up.
Hanzo broke his arm.
Yeah,
so
that was it. That was it. My bad.
They're not letting him train because like they want his arm to set properly or something like that.
So, but his arm's out of the cast, and now after the training montage, they're strong enough to open the door now, so they can get in under their own power. So they're worthy to be there. And we're introduced to a new character from this point. I think her name's Canary.
Yes, Canary. Yes. Super cute.
So I do have my hot take notes. I wrote down here. This is not negative for once. I wrote down, I've seen you before, but you're not in the fighting game. So I've seen pictures of her before.
Okay, interesting. Where from? Do you remember?
I think it was a discussion of well-designed black characters in anime. Because that's definitely... I come from like the 90s to very early 2000s background, right? I'll tell you, at least in the 90s and 2000s, there ain't many good designed black characters, right?
No, that's fair. There's not that many black characters that we've seen so far, right? It was mostly just that one of the hunters,
yeah.
Hunter exam, yeah.
And like I can't speak for modern anime because I do not know. Hopefully, it's better now. Wasn't good in the 90s. So seeing like a identifiably a black character that's not some horrific racial stereotype, kind of refreshing. Right. I'm like, yeah, so she's a coolly designed character, and I know it must be an archetype, but she's like another one of the. We already were introduced to one, but she's another elite butler, turbo butler, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like
apprentice butler.
If you want to see Master Killua, I got a line for you. This far, no further, and you got to get by me. And I wrote here, Gon pulls another Worf. So he's not trying to fight her. He's like, he just keeps walking in, getting bopped, walking in, getting bopped, walking in, getting bopped.
He deliberately says, I'm not here to fight you.
Yeah.
So he's not fighting her. He's just walking and getting bonked and walking and getting bonked, and he just keeps doing it until he wears her down, essentially.
Well, he does another like power of friendship speech. Like, I just want to see my friend. And he like gets so mad he like punches the wall or whatever. And she's like, that's so beautiful. And then during that whole time, that whole spiel, he walked over the line. And it's like, oh, gotcha. There you go. So you're gonna let us pass? Like, I guess so. But then all of a sudden, she just gets shot in the head. Right? I'm like, oh shit. Like, I didn't know that was coming, right? Like, just randomly gets shot in the head. And, well, spoiler, she doesn't actually die for the next episode. But I was legitimately shocked. They introduced character like that super unique design, like, it's just not another random background character. And then just off this, like, quick as she shows up, right?
Yeah.
So,
no, for sure.
Doesn't stick, it turns out, because I guess once you're around Gon level strength, you're just immune to being shot in the head, I guess. And it's the evil mother, the evil countess, that shoots her in the head. And that's basically the episode. We move to episode 25.
Yeah.
The Zoldyck family.
Real quick, though, I just want to say, like, I just find it interesting that, you know, Gon's solution to a lot of these problems, like, if you contrast it with something like, let's say, like, you know, Dragon Ball. Like, Goku just would have punched his fucking way through her. He would have beat the crap out of her. Like, no questions about it. But Gon in this instance is actually, like, violence or, like, using force is not necessarily the thing that he jumps
which I do
to
appreciate.
immediately.
And just to add that, as a certified Goku hater, if the person was strong enough and literally said, oh, go back, like, literally, go ahead. If Goku thought that person was strong enough, Goku still would have swung on him. Like, just walking by is not enough.
He's like, oh, I don't even, like, if I can get a battle out of this, like, if I can challenge myself a little bit, like, I'm going to do it.
That's force a
I'm going
fight.
to swing at him. Right.
Like, for fans of Dragon Ball Super, Bergamo was always right. I don't want to try Chan. So if you know Bergamo, let it be said, if you were on Twitter at the time and you knew because you saw me, I was the most unbearable person, perhaps in the world, for about 3 days after that speech Bergamo gave. Because it was decades of my hatred of Goku vindicated through the show. And then you can argue, well, this thing happened, so it didn't happen. But Goku didn't know that. The viewer didn't know that till later when they retconned it. So go shout up your butt. We're not having that speech. Anyways, Goku sucks. So episode 25, the Zoldyck family. We move on from there from surprise shot in the head.
Turns out she's not dead.
Turns out, yeah, just getting shot in the head, mild inconvenience, but yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't even like hurt or bleeding. She's just like, oh man, I just passed out. Like, well, I'm awake now. And then, you know, you end up bringing her back to the butler's house, right?
Well, I think it's before that. Maybe she does. She has a Young and the Restless moment.
Ah, yes.
That's dating myself. She has her tried and true coma fantasy, right? And there's like a bit of a flashback to when she's younger.
Yes, it's very cute. I love seeing little chibi Killua. I did find it interesting that his voice as a kid is pretty much the same as it is now. Like between like I don't know how old he is in that flashback, maybe 5, 6.
That costs more money if we get a different actor. So
well, they could have like made him sound a little bit younger. I mean, I don't want.
We don't make Dragon Ball money around here. We can't afford that.
That's fair. I just thought the voice would sound slightly different. Not even like different voice actor necessarily, but like slightly different. But yes, so you see little Canary and you see little Killua, and they're having this cute interaction where like I think she's like walking down on the ground and Killua's up in the tree, and basically, you know, he's like eating an apple, and Canary goes off and she like introduces herself.
Yeah.
Or, like she's like, like, hey, like my name's Canary. I just started as like an apprentice butler or whatever. And Killua's like, hey, do you want my apple? I forget exactly what happens, but they're talking about like Killua's special step, the illusion.
Yeah, the shadow step,
or whatever it's called, the shadow step. Yes. They take the shadow step, and then basically I forget exactly what happened, but his mom, for whatever reason, is watching the two of them.
They're not. She's not allowed to be friends with him, right? So since Gon is his first friend, it's not like the Canary. She didn't try, but as a butler, she's not allowed to be his friend, right?
Right, exactly. So it's like you clearly see that she wanted to be friends with Killua, but because her mom was literally like, no, like breathing over her, like,
Yeah.
no, you cannot do this. She wasn't able to. And also, right here is when Canary's talking about shoot, what exactly happens? They're like, oh, there's like some dudes that show up, right?
Yeah, there's another apparently this is mildly
mob
common,
moment.
but there's uninvited
Yes.
guests trying to get in, right? And God, so I'm assuming she's 12, like going to Killua, so she would have been like 6 here or something. And this 6-year-old child dispatches about 25 grown men, because anime. But the one guy, it was the guy who worked
Right,
the
it's
lodge
same
earlier.
guard.
Yeah. So
Yes.
they're what's the word I'm looking for here? They're equal opportunity employers. So you invaded us, but you showed some skill by not dying, so we'll hire you on. And then because that's the guy from the lodge later on, right? So they do have that, but yeah, they're just showing like it's kind of basically like I want to be the master's friend, but then it's like but you're a butler, you can't be friends. And it's like, oh, that makes me sad. And then so Killua never had his first friend.
Right. And also, you know, Gon's not the only superpowered kid around. In fact, we've never really seen Gon beat up. Have we? I don't think we have. We haven't seen him beat up like a group of like 20 grown men. But we've seen Canary dispatch a group of 20 grown men.
It's
as
not
a
even
6-year-old.
At this point, it's not even
Gon's
established.
Not special at this point.
It's not established to me that Gon's even like as strong as her, right? Because she doesn't even try to like go out on him, just like stopping him from crossing the line. That was it.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But yeah, so we have our effective coma fantasy. My mother and my aunt watched too much soap operas back in the day, and like every soap opera has like every 4th or 5th episode is like a coma fantasy episode, and like it's a thing. Either that or they're talking the ghosts or talking to what was the one? The one was like a witch, and she had a possessed doll that only she could talk to.
Oh God, what soap operas are they watching?
That's all soap operas are like that. Other than like General Hospital, they all have like supernatural stuff in them.
Interesting. My parents, I grew up with them watching like historical Chinese dramas. So
hey, that's good. Like
actually, they do have a decent amount of like, oh, I'm in the dream.
You get some like not. This is not Liu Bei. This is not Cao Cao. You know, doing like your classical Three Kingdoms characters, right? Probably get some of that in there.
Right.
Versus General Hospital.
For sure.
General Hospital has 2 episodes where a tank is attacking the hospital.
What?
2 distinct, separate episodes that are not linked, where a tank attacks the hospital.
Okay.
Soap operas are. I've seen too many soap operas because my mom and my aunt. Anyways, so that coma fantasy.
We got.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No.
We're
gonna keep digressing. The coma fantasy happens.
Right.
So Killua, basically, as a side thing, his Killua's been let go. So his grandpa shows up. His grandpa got orders from dad or whatever. So you gotta let Killua go. And the grandpa.
His grandpa, by the way.
Sorry.
Fucking dope. Sorry, I was just gonna interject. The grandpa, by the way, fucking that 1 kill a day thing he's got going on right down the front of his shirt. That goes so hard. And then he's got his hands behind his back like the Asian grandpa
so this is Xeno Zoldyck.
Dude's great.
And hopefully there's no spoilers here. But Xeno Zoldyck, especially with the 1 kill a day thing, has very Tao Pai Pai vibes from Dragon Ball. And now, because everyone says this, because he's not the only character, because there's also Lao from Virtual Fighter who has that. And this is an archetype. This isn't always General Tao. Everyone's like, oh, this is General Tao. This is General Tao. I shouldn't have typed that in.
That's the chicken.
Yeah,
General
that's the
Tso's
food.
Chicken.
Or, well, General Tao, like Tao Pai Pai is what I mean when I say General Tao. Mercenary Tao, right? This guy's a ripoff too.
Ball, right?
Yes. He's a great character, and like the grandpa definitely evokes this, but he's a ripoff too. Like he's cool, but he's not. There is a very old kung fu movie.
Who's the OG?
Snake in the Eagle's Shadow.
I had never seen this.
So the bad guy from Snake and the Eagle's Shadow is this archetype. He invented this. It all comes from this one guy.
Oh, very cool. His outfit is actually really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, they're doing their own stunts.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
So 78. So if you want a good kung fu movie, well, it's like there's better kung fu movies, but this archetype, as far as I know, was invented here. So it's not just a Tao Pai Pai ripoff. It's the movie Snake and the Eagle's Shadow.
Snake and the Eagle Shot. Who is he fighting against?
That's the
just like a
protagonist.
dude.
And
Okay.
there's a lot of weird ones like
Yeah,
of the era,
old-
like Shaolin
old
Thunder
man.
Kick.
Yeah, old man martial arts archetype.
Yeah.
Like that was.
I grew
that
up
was
on
the
like
thing.
I grew up on wrestling and martial arts movies. Okay, so there was no way I couldn't have been a fighting game fan. I was
Those
primed.
things are inevitable.
Yeah, it was inevitable. There's no way. I could never have not been a fighting game fan. So yeah, so the grandpa looks cool, and then I saw some people like I was looking at some other stuff, and it's like, oh, he's a Tao Pai Pai ripoff, and like no, because Tao Pai Pai himself is an homage to another older movie that you wouldn't know unless you're like a kung fu nut.
Mm.
So, anyways, so he's like, okay, gotta let Killua go, and then turns out Killua was fucking with his brother the whole time, basically. Because he immediately just go like, pah, pah, rips off the chains. He was never held in place to begin with. And like, apparently the torture didn't take. Because like, he didn't feel any of it.
Right. He's just like, oh, bro, like, yeah, I just kind of let you like whip me around because for something, as apology for something that happened.
Because when he ran away, he tried to knife his brother. That was it.
Yes. That's it. Oh, just casual brother,
Yeah.
brother argument, whatever.
So it's like, okay, so I let you torture me. Is like, sorry, my bad. Right? But apparently the torture had no effect on him at all. And then it's like, oh, you're free to go. And they do have this weird little speech where the brother, as like Killua is like, he's left. He's going to the butler house to meet Gon and crew.
Right.
They have this weird speech. Is like the brother and grandpa are like, Killua of the whole family, of like the history of the family of assassins, Killua has by far the most talent and potential, but he'll never realize it because like he's too soft.
Right. That's what Maluki says.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And like I'm sure that'll play in later on.
Yes, I think a lot of the family dynamic is directly involves the fact that Killua is kind of seen as this special child within the family, like what they said in the show, which is like once a generation, there's like a genius that's above all others that is going to inherit the family. Like I don't know, from my perspective, like Alumi's like that guy's pretty freaky, and he clearly has
pretty all right.
more of that.
Yeah,
he clearly has that more assassin-like mindset of just being very cold and unfeeling. So I don't know why they would pick like Killua over Illumi, but for whatever reason he's this super special child that
so I was wrong about Gon. But Killua was the child of destiny.
Well, according to his family, but I don't think he wants to be that child.
No, he definitely doesn't, because
So.
he wants to be. I want to have friends.
That's right. He just wants to go out in the world and explore himself and make friends. It's typical teenager thing.
Oh, and I was just looking at my notes. Sorry, this is episode 24 we're on. My bad, not 25. But yeah, he basically just lets him go. I'm just looking at my notes here.
Then they talk to the dad.
Yeah,
right?
so he talks to the dad, and I wrote here the dad, Fist of the North Star looking ass guy.
He does.
Yeah, he looks exactly like. He's like a mix of like. He's like a mix of like Rao and Toki a little bit, but I also wrote down Fist of the North Star dad, but they have a talk, right? And like they're building up like he's the patriarch, the mom who's like not a nice person is scared of the dad, and obviously like the grandpa has like kill every day written on him, so you got to assume he's some sort of hard ass, right? And then he's like, so you made a friend, and it's like, I'm proud of you, little buddy. It's like. He's like, yeah, we need you here, I guess, but like, don't let me stop you from having friends. Like, go out and have fun, and like, whatever expectations I thought of this guy, like, immediately out the window, right?
Well, Also, the thing that makes expectations weird is that, like, the room that they're in is, like, dark and it's, like, blue
It's a
tone and,
torture
like,
hell
really
dungeon.
futuristic. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's, like, it's a very weird environment. So you're, like, and then his voice is so deep. He's, like, Xehanort from, like, Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's a very intimidating looking guy. And then you have this very heartfelt, sweet,
Yeah.
like,
Like,
conversation
dude has a
with him, and
jawline
then
that could cut steel. Like,
right, and so it's just, like, a really weird contrast of, like,
but
it
yeah,
being a very
there's this. They do bury it a little bit by the very end, but he's kind of like, go get him, champ. Let me like
Right.
come back when you're ready. Hope you have a couple good stories for me, right? And that's
right, they
basically
do the
it.
little blood pack,
Yeah,
you know.
and they let him go, but then the mom shows up again, like, oh, can't let you go. And Killua was like, I'll kill you if you get in my way. But then the mom and dad fight, and then it's like, he'll come back because he has to. And then, like, where'd that come from, right? Oh, yeah, I'm dating myself, but then immediately my brain caught something I was about to say. So let me say this, then clarify it immediately, okay?
Okay.
So he gave him a Bill Cosby speech. When I was a kid, that's a good thing. Bill Cosby was a wholesome, family-centered dad, okay? Not
Right, back in the day, I'm sure.
not
Not what
weird rapist.
right.
So when I say Cosby speech, positive. Because there can definitely be Cosby speech negative. All right. But anyway, so yeah, he gave him a good family. You know what? Let's do family matters. Carl Winslow. There we go. That's a more wholesome family. Wait, does that make Gon Urkel?
I was like, why?
Yeah. So okay, that makes Gon Urkel now. But
All right. Aaron, I don't know this reference. I don't
no,
know. I don't know.
and
What
it's
this
good
is.
you don't. I come from a different era. But
All right.
you know, actually, I'm a little sad. Family Matters was good. Everyone should have grown up with family. That's truly wholesome.
Also, I never really grew up like my upbringing with like being exposed to different forms of media. I pretty much only played video games when I
Hey,
was a
I did
kid.
that too.
So like any movies or like cultural TV shows, sitcoms, I never really grew up with
It was
any
a
of that.
specific
So there's
time
a
in the
lot of-
90s. TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. You watch your Urkel. You watch your Step by Step. It's better now than the kids. They watch the Naruto. That's why we got the problems we got today.
No, the kids are watching Bluey.
I don't even know
You know
what
the
that
little
is.
blue dog? The little blue dog. Apparently it's really good, but I've never
Okay,
seen
you know what?
it.
A dog. You know, I like Clifford. Wishbone, the learning dog. He was pretty cool. He went on
I don't know
adventures.
who that
We all love adventures around here. But yeah, that's basically where the episode ends. Just Dad is surprisingly chill until he like undercuts himself off camera. He's like, actually, he'll come back like a dog or something. Like, sure, I guess.
he believes in Killua's dark nature.
Yeah.
That will bring him back or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. Then we have the actual episode of 25, because I most spoke earlier. Can't see if you're blind. So Killua was at the butler's house now, waiting for the other crew. And the other crew brought Canary back from her getting shot in the head. And it's like, okay, we have basically permission to link up.
Right.
But the head butler's like, they don't know he's already here, so we're going to kind of mess with him a little bit, right?
Right.
So now
you
it's
see the butler. Oh, sorry. You
No.
see the butler having a conversation with the mom, and the mom is clearly like, "I don't want them to meet." So now the butler is like, "Okay, I'm gonna stop them from meeting." Right?
Yeah.
Because he's clearly on her side.
so then we're doing some guessing games here, right? So it's
Such
basically
shenanigans.
I got a coin, pick a hand, right? Do which hand? And that goes for a little bit till it's like, guess which hand of death, right? Because he's like, I think you guys are disgusting. I think you guys are pigs. You don't deserve Master Killua. And in fact, if you can't now guess which hand, you're going to die. Or I'm going to slit Canary's throat in front of you. That was it.
Yeah, he was going hard.
He went from like
was
0
going-
to 100 out of nowhere, right?
Right. Very intimidating. I was like, gone. Like, this is the moment where you should like fuck this dude up.
Yeah,
Like,
like
I don't
this
know
is
why they're just chilling and playing coin games. Okay.
like the only thing at this point I was expecting the coin game, because they've done this now several times in the show where like something simple, and then it's like in 2 minutes of diagrams to explain what this. Well, we see in a coin flip they grab it, and then it's hard to tell which one they grab. Like I was expecting charts of that because they've done that several times now, right? But
Yo,
the
they
dude
have a
can
lot
just
of charts in the
do it,
manga.
and he can move his hands so fast that there's like steam coming off his hands, like and guess which hand, right?
Mhm.
And they do a few rounds of that. And then, wait a second. I got my hot take notes here. I have my normal notes, but my hot take notes. Oh, I do have here. I don't have the music, but the butler had, I wrote Sephiroth ass music. It's like super evil and like disconcerting. But,
Doesn't even pay-
so Gon, because Canary smashed him in the head like 16 times before they found out they're friends. So Gon's like got a big goose egg on his head, like his eyes are bandaged up, right?
Mhm.
So he pulls a boxing maneuver and it's like, Doc, cut me open. And so they take off his bandage and cut his eyes open to drain the blood. So his eyes,
Right.
this is an actual thing they do in boxing. Your corner man will
I
cut
did
your
not
eyes
know
open. Because in a boxing match, if you get punched in the eye like 600 times, your eyes will swell up. And if they cut your eyes open, the blood will go out and the swelling will go down so you can see again. Because in boxing, if you can't see, that leads to you getting punched in the face more often. Funny how that works, right?
Okay.
So it's boxing
that's
logic.
hardcore.
Yeah.
I thought that. I don't know why. I thought they like made that up or something.
No,
like that, but that's
it's a
why.
very, well, not normal, because if it gets really bad, the ref will call it. But it is a technique used in boxing that they'll cut your eyes open to drain the blood and stop the swelling. It's called a cut man,
Dang.
specifically. Because it turns out you don't want some random guy cutting you open in the middle of a fight, right? You probably want someone who knows what they're doing. Yeah.
Wrestling and boxing goes hard. Oh my god.
No, that happens more in like the movies. Like it's a rare thing in a real life fight, but that's exactly what Gon does. Like, he's smart enough to realize if you cut me, the blood will drain, my swelling will go down, and now he unlocks both of his eyes. Because he has special eyes, and a special nose, and special ears, and he can hear, he has special everything, but now with both eyes unlocked, he can now, because they have a final coin toss, right? Because now it's not just guess which hand, they bring in the other butlers, and now it's guess which person has it, right?
Right.
And they do this Omega Turbo toss, and like, who has it? And they have 3 people in front of him, but then Gon, because he has both eyes open, he's like, none of you have it. The guy behind me has it. And then it's like, yeah, you got us. Which, not explain how they got to that conclusion, but probably better that you don't, I guess.
He's got, I don't know, they threw it over, or they had something in there like tucked into their sleeve or something where he had it. Who knows? But I just don't get why they were playing this coin flipping game to begin with, because literally they sit down and they're like, oh, you want to play this coin flipping game to pass the time? And like, if I were them, I would have been like, oh no, like, I'm good. I don't really want to play this coin flipping game.
Well, they didn't have much of a choice because they took it 0 to 100, right? It's like, play the game or I'll slit her throat. And then immediately,
that's fair. But,
yeah, because immediately after that, then Killua just walks into the room. It's like, oh, you guys are here. And then it's like, whoops, the master caught us playing a murder game with his guests. Like,
whoopsie. Oh, no, we're just having a good time. We're just having a really
and it's like, oh, yeah, we're just palling around here. We're just, I wasn't just threatening to slice a child's throat in front of your friends. Like, don't fucking tell him I did that. Don't fucking tell him I did that. Like,
right. Somehow, like, Kurapika, who I feel like is the most, like, wary of all of the members.
The most lives
like,
in the real world of everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, okay, well, I guess it's fine then. They're just like, oh, you like, and then they go on their merry way. And it's like, okay, I would not have been okay with that. But all right, we're just gonna move on.
Yeah, well, regardless, they did it and they won. So kudos to them, I suppose. But yeah, so we do that here.
At
Uh,
the
the, the, the,
butler's
the,
house. They
the,
never even went to the main house, which like
well, this is a butler house or
I
whatever,
will,
right? Like,
right, they're in the
yeah.
butler house. They never even went to the main house, which like honestly I would have loved to see more of the main house, but it's fair. That's fair. It's just like a quick little arc. It's not meant
Oh,
to
okay.
overextend itself.
So this is why I missed my note here. So when
Mhm.
Killua shows up, the game's up, right? And then the butler's like, actually, I was never going to do anything.
Aha, it's just a
Yeah.
joke, bro.
So I got here. So butler's like, were you scared? Were you scared? Yeah. Well, you should be because you're on Fear Factor, right? Pulls one of those reality show ass things. Like we're just clowning, which
We were just messing with you.
I don't think Canary was in on it because she had the knife on her throat. Now I don't think she felt like that was a joke, and it probably
And then
wasn't.
They just leave Canary with them, like they didn't just.
Yeah,
try
yeah.
to,
She
like,
doesn't get to come with them,
kill
so
her.
she has to like stay with these horrible, abusive people.
Right, literally, like they're about to murder a child. We had a knife up to her throat.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, okay, yeah, see you later, Canary. And then she's just there, like, yep.
And of course,
everything's
Golen's
fine, I
like,
guess.
oh, child murder. Oh, well, my friend's back. Who cares? Let's go on our adventure.
Nice.
See ya.
Also,
Bye-bye.
I don't think they ever really had much of a reaction to Canary being held hostage. If I remember correctly, they just kind of like maybe looked at her or something like that, and then they moved on. They're like, oh no, we gotta like play this game.
Yeah.
Like they weren't like, oh no, not Canary, don't do that to her. Like they were just like, okay.
Well, that's the thing. So even before they leave, so the head butler dude, like, gives Gon a life lesson. Like, he has, like, one final coin trick. He does it, and he does it, like, slow, so it should be easy to tell. It's like, Gon's like, well, it's this hand. And he's like, nope, it was this hand. And he's like, what? And it's like, Gon, in this world, people will trick you. And it's like, why would someone ever trick somebody else? I don't understand. And it's like, see, that's it. You're too naive of a jungle boy. You're too Tarzan to understand the evils of the civilized world and, civilized man. So you need to watch out. And it's like, oh, I guess that I didn't know people would try to trick me. Good thing I learned that's a possibility. And then they piss off, right? Like,
Right. Well, I don't think he was trying to trick him.
no, but he was tricking him just sort of like, deceit is a thing. Like, I will give you this option, make it look like it's one way, because I'm full of shit and it's actually the other way, right?
Yeah. I that is interesting because it's like it's not like this stuff hasn't literally ever since the Hunter exam, there's been deception after deception after deception. I don't know why this was even needed to be said.
Gon only retains like the last three things, and anything else after that just it pushes out and he can't recall anything else. So to me, this is a lesson you'll have to keep learning because he will forget it.
Yeah, no, I think you're not wrong. I think that is still something that is happening in future episodes.
Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm on the nose. I don't know, but yeah.
Well,
So
there is a point where maybe less so. But anyways, I will get into that.
Yeah,
we'll get into that.
But yeah. So now we get the zoo crew back together finally. But in Dungeons and Dragons terms, we get the party back only to immediately party split again. Yeah. So Kurapika tells a little bit of what Hisoka was telling him a bit, that they got to go to York New City.
September 1st.
September 1st. And there's like an auction or something like that that's going to happen there. And so for Kurapika, they said something like the Phantom Troop will be there. So that's why he wants to go there. And Hisoka will be there. Because Gon's like, my next part of my journey is I got to go punch Hisoka in his stupid face. Because he shamed me by beating me in a fair fight. So I got to give him his badge back, but I can't give him his badge back until I can land a clean hit on him. And he'll also...
ever mention... Oh, sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Did they ever mention what they were auctioning off at that event, or they just said an auction?
They just said there's like all sorts, like all the most mega rich people in the world are there, and like anything you could ever dream of will be there.
Okay, I was just wondering. They'll get into it. But
there's a specific MacGuffin. At least I don't know it yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But yeah, so
sorry, continue.
Yeah, so Phantom Troop will be there. So Kurapika wants to be there. Hisoka will be there, so Gon wants to be there. Killua wants to go wherever Gon is going. And so they're like, okay, well, Killua, or Kurapika is like, I need money. So I'm going to do my hunter stuff now. Leorio's like, well, I became a hunter to do my doctor stuff, so I'm going to go do my doctor stuff now. And Gon and Killua are like, you know what? Now, even though we just had a training arc in a way, now we need another training arc because we got to have Gon fight Hisoka. And they do this little thing is like comparing power levels. And like, okay, if Hisoka's here and like Gon, you are, and he goes like to the end of the park. It's like, you're over here. You can't touch him, right? And one thing I did like is they also mentioned Hanzo. And they show Hanzo and Hisoka as roughly comparable power in that little explanation. So we have more than one aspirational character to look forward to. So obviously Hisoka, I imagine, matters a lot more. But we have like it's Goku logic, right? Like I look forward because Frieza is on the horizon. Now Cell's on the horizon. Now Beerus is on the horizon, right? If you have more than one person on the horizon, that's like bigger, better, stronger, faster. I think that's good for the show.
Yeah, no, I agree. We're not like overly fixated on just one person that we need to be or one particular character. There's multiple directions that the show can go into in the future. So I think that's a healthy thing as well. Also, I didn't realize they had that big of a difference between Gon and Hisoka. I mean, I knew it was pretty big, but like
I'm sure
think it was that
he's like playing it up a little bit. Because then when Killua was like, well, what's your level versus Hisoka? And he like still has Hisoka above him, but he's like way closer. And he's like, oh, I'm so humble. And he like makes this like little silly anime face about it.
Yeah, like the little catty boy face or whatever.
Which, to be like, I don't know, but as it's presented, I don't think Killua is that ahead of Gon. Maybe a little bit, but
I mean, he definitely has more experience.
He has like the technique. He has like
PvP.
Instant hell murder technique or whatever, right?
Yeah, he has way more experience in PvP, and Gon, I think, is still fully trying to understand how to use his powers in the most effective way. Like, he hasn't really figured out the technique, but in terms of like raw power and like and like mental strength and stuff like that, he definitely ranks above kind of Killua, I think, in those aspects.
I think that's fair. But yeah, so where is it here? They mention a specific word, Heaven's Arena. And I know that because that's a stage in the fighting game. That's one of the fighting game stages. So I know that must be of some importance. And so, yeah, we have the party split. So everyone's kind of doing their own thing. So I don't know where it's going to go exactly. If we have like, this episode is about Gon, this episode is about Kurapika, this episode is about Leorio. But like, we're at an impasse now. I'm sure Gon's going to be the main focus. But we have our party split and we have a deadline. September 1st. Meet me in York New City, right? So all roads lead to York, a new city. Because the Gon, Kurapika, Leorio, the Phantom Troop, which we don't really know anything about other than they bad. Like something vaguely they bad. Hisoka is going to be there too, right? And I'm sure a new character or two will be there as well.
Yes. So that there are both. So they've hinted at a future arc. We have another arc coming up as well. But we will get there, and we will get there on the next episode.
Yes. So our next episode, we do have one more episode technically, which is episode 26, and it's a recap episode, and we're done. So it's literally a recap episode. There's nothing to talk about.
I did not watch this episode. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah,
I did not watch it.
I watched about 5 minutes. I'm like, this is a friggin' recap episode, isn't it? Then I click. I'm like, yeah, okay. And I just skipped to the end. And on Netflix, which is what I'm watching it on Netflix, apparently is the end of season 1. And also, I do have a Netflix account, but I've been told you can watch this for free on Netflix. Like, you don't even need to pay for Netflix to watch it. So, tell a friend, I guess.
I did not know that. I bought. I've been paying like $20 a month to watch this show. I guess no ads. I guess.
I
guess
still I was lazy because I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna cancel my Netflix after Arcane is done, and then I sort of forgot. So that's how they get you. You pay for it without thinking about it.
Right, but it's not like a $5 a month sort of thing
No, 'cause
anymore. It's like $20 USD.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're in the show till at least the end of going with when I keep my Netflix subscription. I guess I do subscribe to Shudder. Shudder is a very smaller. It's only for horror movies. I'm a horror nut, and like that, I'm fine. It's only like a couple bucks a month. But that I recommend Shudder. It's good. But anyways, but that.
I'm not a horror movie fan.
Oh no, I love horror. If you think, you know what, I probably have within the horror community, I probably have more mainstream opinions on horror. But I also have very strong feeling. Like I'm a kind of guy. I think with my heart, right? You won't find me have a half-assed opinion on anything, unless it's like a fighting game opinion that I actually don't want to talk about. So I'll just tell you what you want to hear and hope you go away. Like, oh, I love Skullgirls. What a great game.
Oh no, you're gonna get this podcast flamed, bro. You're gonna get this flamed.
Yeah.
out, bail out, change the subject.
But yeah, horror movies, legitimately, I think when horror is done right, I think horror is the smartest genre of all film. But the problem, just like anime, this was why I stopped watching anime, for every one good horror movie, there is 99 bad horror movies. And for every one good anime, and I think the ratio has gotten worse since I stopped watching, there's at least 99 bad animes.
Well, that's all media in general. And I actually would say it's not that the quality has gone down necessarily.
There's just
it's
more.
That there's so much more media coming out. Exactly. There's so much more.
I'm thinking like, okay, it's 1998, and I'm at the tape traders. Like, what do you got for me? Like every single thing, because there wasn't much. Every single thing was special. You know, like, oh, Visions of Escaflowne? What's that? Like, okay, that's cool. That's different. I guess, is that the first isekai? It might be.
I just know about the Hack series. That's it.
Hack series was first. That's also an isekai, but it's also the first Trapped in the MMO. Because Trapped in the MMO was its own genre before isekai was a genre. But Visions of Escaflowne was literally I'm in the normal world stuck in a fantasy world. But then there was Hack Sign, then it was I'm Trapped in the MMO, then there was 50 I'm Trapped in the MMO, and then that became isekai, and then it became more fantasy. Like the only one I saw that even mildly entertaining was The Devil is a Part-Timer.
That one's fun.
Because like it's like literal Satan is working at McDonald's. Because it's reverse, right? It's not I'm in the fantasy world, it's I'm stuck working at Burger King. And I'm the devil.
The devil is in the real world working a mundane.
So then there was all right, I guess.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair take. I think it's just a fun little show. You know, sorry, my camera keeps going out.
It's all once again, folks. If you're watching, she is in a hotel room. She has gone above and beyond the Call of Duty. She is in Florida, which I have been informed is not a state but a monster. So to be able to progress here, despite the handicap, I think is very commendable. So I will give you your props. Thank you very much, especially because once again, CEO is tomorrow. So
yes, and I bought my $15 premium Wi-Fi just to specifically stream this.
BR got the special hotel Wi-Fi just to do this.
Yeah, because they have the free Wi-Fi and then they have the premium $15 a day Wi-Fi. And I was like, I'm gonna make sure this
inside baseball. I've done enough. I've done a lot of work from hotel rooms. Like you saw me at Evo last year. And while everyone's having fun at Jeff's private suite, which I did see before, like I just couldn't hang out. So everyone's having fun at a giant suite. I'm literally in my shitty hotel room grinding videos on like 5 megabits a second upload. So the hotel suite grind is real.
A decision was made, indeed, to grind.
I can't not grind. That's my biggest weakness. Trust me. Keeping your nose to grindstone is only a positive to a point, and once you get past that point, it's an actual negative.
Right, you kind of have to.
This year at Evo, I'm giving myself. I'm going 2 days early, and I'm forced. I don't even know what I'm going to do. I'm forcing myself to do something that's not work. Maybe I'll go to a museum. I don't know what I'm going to. I'm just going to do something that's not work because I go everywhere, and I go there to work and come back. So I'm going to do something, which is going to be fun because I don't drink, I don't party, I don't gamble, which are kind of the three things you'd want to do in Vegas, and I don't do that stuff. Maybe not so much, but you know what? Post in the comments. If you know something cool to see in Vegas, I'll be there. I'll go to whatever because I just want to do something. So, and while we're in Vegas, because you're going to Evo too, right?
Yes, I'll be there.
Yeah, so we might do a live, or at least live to tape, Going with the Wind.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That would be very. Wow, it's only a month away, actually.
Well, yeah, it's like a month and change away. Yeah.
Crazy.
So we're closer than you think, right? So yeah,
I know.
There'll be some episodes before then, but so we might have an Evo special.
Live, two of us just chit chatting.
Yeah, or at least or at least live to tape. If we can stream it though, maybe we'll see. Because once again, hotel Wi-Fi, especially in Vegas, is not great.
I guess we're about to find out.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But for now, my friends, that is Going with the Wind number 3. So episodes 19 through 26. And once again here, we'll cover 6 to 10 episodes per podcast. We'll figure it out when we get there. Next episode will be a week and change. Could be 6 days, could be 7 days, could be 8 days. I don't know. This isn't exactly done hard and fast. Let's put it that way, right? We're kind of playing it by ear. And we will continue to do so because we both do a lot of other things. And unfortunately, even though I like doing this, I hope you like doing this. This obviously can never be the priority. Like it can't be the first thing on our minds, right?
Yeah, no. I mean,
yeah.
it's not.
In terms of like, no.
I got CEO, Evo. You've got videos to make.
Yeah,
I've got.
I had to do a lot of
make.
making videos about season 3 for Street Fighter, and.
Right.
I'll say this right now. I'm the first one to give Dalsum props. Everyone else is slowly waking up, and in 2 months from now, everyone will say Dalsum's so amazing. And just keep in mind, I was the first one to say it. Everyone else is scared to give Dalsum his props this season. I'll just say I was always there.
First to Dragon Ball, first to Dalsum.
Hey, I got some insights. It turns out I got some insights. I ain't always right. Sometimes I believe too hard. Like season 2 Honda, famously I ate crow because I wanted to believe in Honda. And the problem with anyone who's a Honda fan is believing in Honda is a fool's errand to begin with. So there's always that. But yeah, my friends. Yeah,
all good.
That is it for Going with the Wind episode 3. Once again, we adjust based on your feedback. So if you got more feedback, by all means, let us know. Although not so much on the going off topic, because we're gonna go off topic. Because that's the nature of the show. But other than that, let us know your feedback. And, you know, if you're listening on Spotify, I don't know how Spotify works. I had to make an account. So if there's like a like button, hit the like button on Spotify if that's a thing that exists. And on YouTube, hit the like button and subscribe and tell your friends and all that. But till then, that is me. That is me, the Rooflemonger. And this has been...
BABERUTHLESS.
There we go. And until then, we will catch you next time. Have a great day.
Bye.